Daybreak on this special Saturday in Kansas has always meant happiness and hope. The honor has been bestowed upon the capital city, excited to host one of the state's most treasured summertime events. In this time of challenge, Topeka has much to offer, much to see, and much to give. It's time to prove that nothing will ever stop this tradition of charity. The 47th annual Kansas Shrine Bowl is next. And as certain as the sun rises in the east, we've always been able to count on the Kansas Shrine Bowl to serve as the welcoming sign that another season of football is on the way. And this year, under extraordinary conditions, we are set to go once again. Greetings, folks, alongside Stan Weber. I am Mark Ewing. Welcome to the Kansas Shrine Bowl. And I don't know about you, Stan. I know I like you, but we are social distancing here. And maybe because of all the obstacles that they've had to go through, there's a lot of anticipation for this football game.
Alongside you is something we've said many times. This is the furthest I've been away from you, but I'm so happy to be here. Anticipation is a good word. It may not be a good enough word because this is always the start of football season, and people are excited about watching the Kansas Shrine Bowl for all the purposes it has, but to kick off football, even before the NFL. But this year, we're seeing very few sports in America. This is anticipation with capital letters. I can't wait to see the guys play.
And keep in mind, this game, the planning begins almost a year before it starts. This year, as COVID-19 set upon us, there are some tough choices to make among coaches, players, and certainly administrators about how they are going to orchestrate this. And, you know, it's in a lot of ways, it's heroic.
It really is. First of all, Shriners are problem solvers. You look at the kids and what they determine they can do for their health. It's amazing, the contraptions that they make. Well, they're problem solvers getting this football game together, and they had a great help from some courageous people. 72 players got a chance to come to this game. They and their parents had to sign off that they felt comfortable with the risks that are out there today with the virus. They all signed up. They all showed up on time, and they've done a great job of following the rules. That's why they're getting a chance to play today.
Well, among the changes, Stan, they moved camps in Topeka. Both camps, East and West, were in town. Tommy Beeson coaches Goddard High School at West. He's the West coach. And the East Coast is Steve Bueller. He coaches Topeka Washburn Rural High School. And both coaches did a tremendous job of getting both of their teams together. And in fact, en route to give us a preview of what's ahead, we decided to mic them both up for practice. So let's head to camp. And folks, let's listen in on Coach Beeson and Coach Bueller.
Inside out. Up 40 in the middle. First down. Hey. Everything's great until we got that ground. Hey, everything's great. These guys are good quarterbacks. They'll shake one guy. Get rid of it. Get rid of it.
Go get it. Break down.
They're going to send one extra guy than we have to block. So you got to make a quick decision or find somebody to bail out and go. Let's go. Ball's down there at the 20. Oh, we'll be down there. Oh, okay. Hey, let's go right here from the 40 out. Okay.
No head to it.
Kill it! Fourth down. Get a stop, defense. Fourth down. Get a stop, and we're done. Game's over. Get a stop. Game's over. That's what we're talking about. When you get in all-star games, fellas, all-star games become survival because none of the teams, none of the players have been, neither of the teams, any of the players have played long enough to be really solid at what you do. Things are going to break down, and it's a matter of who's going to be most persistent, who's going to keep playing hard, who's going to keep coming at them and finishing the play. Do that every play for each other, and the rest of the stuff's going to take care of itself at the end of the game, okay? All that other stuff will take care of itself, okay? Always remember, keep your eye on the prize. Eye on the prize is Saturday night. I want to compliment you because I've been through this, as I said before, 6 times. This is the best group that I have been around in the 6 times. Great, get a quick break, find the coaches, and get out of here. Let's go. Great job tonight, guys. Great job.
Yeah, talk about it. That's it. Good. That's all I want right there. Yeah. Once you're stuck, you're stuck. And if they rub us, hell. Then a good play by then, tip your cap. That's why it's an all-star game. Oh, yeah. Hey, look at us, like a football team. Holy crap, like a football team. Really nice job, really nice job. Anchoring, and you just be like, whoop, 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 whoop. Stay with it. Yes, cut him up. Beautiful. Good job, Foster and a baby. We do not care if it's hidden. Yeah. I want that quarterback to look out there and go, oh, hell. I was going to throw it to so-and-so. I guess I'm throwing it somewhere else. You know what I mean? High halo, find the rock. Yes, fill it. Yes. Go get it right now. Good. Good. That a baby. Yes. Jordan. Hey, good work. Good work. Way to make that change late. It's okay. Get outside leverage. Get outside leverage. Get outside leverage. Get outside leverage. Get outside. Good job, Bo Foster. Bo, that's a good job. Wham. Good. Other boy, Scotty. Oh, no. Really good time for that play call.
Let's go blue power all day.
Yeah, we haven't ran a whole lot. Blue power all day. Bubble.
Option. Blue.
Oh, double pass. Here it comes. On me. Hey, I love your competitive spirit. That's what football should feel like, all right? It should be really, really fun. Offense, you got us there at the end. Really nice job. I think we gave up a couple on you. Really nice job today. Let's have a great afternoon. See you at 12 at lunch.
Sports are full of empowering moments. The game-winning field goal, an athlete overcoming an injury. At Cotton O'Neill Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, we live for those empowering moments. Our team is well equipped to care for all sports-related injuries. Our experts tailor-make treatment plans to fit you, because when it comes to winning, there's no one-size-fits-all approach. Discover the many ways Cotton O'Neill Orthopedics and Sports Medicine can empower your victories.
How do you see the world?
At Shriners Hospitals for Children, we know that changing how you see things can turn them into everyday miracles.
Like riding my bike.
Breaking boards. Hugging my mom.
Every day for over 90 years, Shriners Hospitals for Children has been sending love to the rescue, regardless of a family's ability to pay.
If you know a child we can help, call or go online now.
Get back in the game with the Kansas Shrine Bowl Alumni Association. We hope the Kansas Shrine Bowl had an impact on your life. Now help us continue to impact the lives of kids at Shriners Hospitals for Children. Get reconnected with the Kansas Shrine Bowl at kansasshrinebowl.com/alumni. This year we'll have special offers and events just for our alumni. Former coaches, players, and staff members, go to kansasshrinebowl.com/alumni and complete the form.
And welcome back to Topeka. The pregame show for the Kansas Shrine Bowl continues. And just for the record, Stan, I want to show you, I've got my mask ready, as you do.
I have mine right below me, and I've had it on many minutes already tonight, like everybody else here.
All right, so if you just joined us, there's a reason we're sitting socially distanced against one another. But tonight in Topeka, the best of the best play for the Kansas Shrine Bowl. And the thing about it is they are playing for a cause. So first things first, game's purpose is to raise money for the Shriners Hospital.
Yeah, and there aren't going to be as many tickets sold because there's limitations here at Hummer Park in Topeka. So hopefully you'll find a way to donate. We'll talk about that tonight on the broadcast. But it's a great event. It's a chance for high school kids to do something to help others. And boy, do you help others, because the Kansas Shrine Bowl allows strong legs to run so weak legs can walk. And these kids have had the experience. They got to see some different opportunities of what their money that they are able to get associated with this game, what it does for kids. And it's really a neat thing. So big purpose for tonight's game.
And you know, the second purpose is to promote high school sports in the state of Kansas. We're native Kansans ourselves. Always proud of these kids, the hometown heroes, and they always do such a great job.
Yeah, when you put that helmet on, Mark, all those things that you're wanting to play for and help the kids are true, but you know what really is true? You've made friends for life with other kids around the state of Kansas, all-stars that you just heard about or read about or saw on TV and didn't get a chance to meet, but now they're your teammates, and you get to play football against the best players in the state of Kansas. It's something you'll remember for the rest of your life.
Boy, bottom line, proceeds from the game have generated well over $50,000 per year. So you do the math, carry the one. That's about $2 million in the game's 46 years history. And hey, you know, the hospitals need that money.
Absolutely. I'm humbled every time I get a chance to do this game, and I sure was the first time I got to play in 1980 to think I get to do something I love, play football or broadcast football, and it actually achieves contributions. This is unbelievable, but it is really important that that money is made.
Big time at charity. Strong legs run so weak legs may walk. That's been the slogan forever. It has never meant more than it does this time around. The Shrine Bowl from Topeka is going to continue in just a moment. The Kansas Shrine Bowl kickoff is about 15 minutes or so away. We're glad to be with you, and we continue with more pregame right after this.
I had no idea you did that.
That's what I said when I learned CDL does more than just electrical work. Like plumbing, heat and air, security cameras and alarms, generators, solar panels, even signs for my business. CDL really is one company that has a solution for about everything in my home and business. Learn more at cdlsolution.com.
At Emporia State University, you can be yourself. You can chase your dreams. And you can change your future. Start discovering Emporia State University today.
Sign Brothers, a proud Shrine Bowl partner, is more than your average sign company. We go statewide, specializing in all types of messages for sports and schools. Wall graphics for locker rooms, gyms, or school entry areas. Sign Brothers will design and install graphics that get your students and players excited about this school year. They also make banners, field and gym signs, plus all types of custom COVID messages for directions and social distancing. So reach out today for custom designed signs and learn about our special pricing for your school or business.
So, what is love? Love is being independent. Love is dancing. At Shriners Hospital for Children, love is a new smile.
At Shriners Hospitals for Children, love is caring for a child regardless of the family's ability to pay. Learn how you can send your love to the rescue at lovetotherescue.org.
And the Kansas Shrine Bowl pregame show continues from Hummer Sports Park in Topeka, where the East is set to meet the West for the 47th consecutive time. And it's been a year of the COVID-19. Among the changes, he was at Yager Stadium, which is really just a mile to the south here. They moved it here, made a great decision. Among the things, you got to wear face masks. USD 501 made transportation available. There was a long list that I could just go through, but I want to tell you, the thing about it is, it wasn't like they were in their rooms all week. They got at least to experience a couple of things, did they not?
No, the players are so mature about being safe, wearing a mask all the time, sitting on the same exact seat every time in the bus, things like that. But there are great traditions in the first 46 years of this event. And one of them is the players get a chance to have fun and eat a lot of good food. And I'm surprised, but they got it done. Even in the face of COVID-19, they got the experiences. They had great times together. I'm amazed at what the Shrine Bowl's done for these kids.
Boy, and worth mentioning as we take a look at the golf event is the typically they'd had the hospital patients come here. This time they had a Zoom call, and that's really, for the first 37 years, they made the trip to St. Louis, evolved it, and that certainly was a big change for everybody.
Yeah, they had chances to have Zoom calls with kids. There's even one who was able to meet them in person and talk about it. So again, they did the best that they could. They're able to have some events together. It was a great job, and the players had a good time. It is as much of a normal week for these players as you could ever imagine.
And this certainly was the year that marked the first time that the game's existence, that a shared camp was held. They stayed in the same place and really experienced the Kansas Shrine Bowl in a different way, but everybody evolved. Talk about change and talk about stepping up to face a charity and meet the cause. That is certainly what happened. Executive Director B.J. Harris has certainly indicated the plan will be to return to Ottawa and Kansas Wesleyan next year for camp, and maybe it'll be normal next year, but this will be one that they never forget. So coming up, as the pregame show continues from Topeka, Leon Liebel will join us, and he will join us with Executive Director B.J. Harris. The Kansas Shrine Bowl pregame show continues from Topeka right after this.
How do you see the world?
At Shriners Hospitals for Children, we know that changing how you see things can turn them into everyday miracles.
Like riding my bike,
Breaking boards. Hugging my mom.
Every day for over 90 years, Shriners Hospitals for Children has been sending love to the rescue, regardless of a family's ability to pay.
If you know a child we can help, call or go online now.
And welcome back, everybody, to Hummer Park here in Topeka as the pregame show for the Kansas Shrine Bowl game continues. I'm Leon Liebel, joined by the executive director, a very busy man this week, B.J. Harris. And B.J., great to have you here. You know, in a time when we've had so many sporting events, so many activities canceled, you know, we haven't had a real-life sporting event in a long time to watch. Here we are, about to see a real-life football game. How did you pull this off?
I'm not sure if I know. You know, a lot of good leadership, a lot of good guidance from local health officials and my board of directors. That's where it started. You know, the board trusted in me to try to keep this thing afloat. And they trusted with me and meeting with those local health officials that we were going to put in a plan that was going to be able to be executed and was going to be able to keep people safe. And I can tell you right now, up to game day, we're 15 minutes away from kickoff. I really feel like we've done that plan the way we were planning to do. And so the fact that they had that trust to let us keep going, that's not easy. And all those events that canceled, I understand why. I mean, it's tough and it's a risk financially, but I think we're getting a reward today because I really feel like we're going to be okay, and I do think it's all for the kids of the hospital and for these kids who are going to be playing the game.
That's going to be my next question. It is a difficult task to pull up, and why? It could have been easy to say, hey, let's just shut it down for a year and wait till next year.
Yeah, it's important for us to keep this tradition alive because we've been a good fundraiser for Shriners Hospitals for Children for 47 years now, and we get to say that today, 47 years. And sorry, I just get choked up because it's so important for me to do that and raise that money for those kids. And you saw the commercial a minute ago about what we do. And just the fact that we get a chance to do it again when it looked like we weren't going to have a chance to, it's fantastic.
And again, a lot of precautions underway here tonight. We do have our masks, but we are properly social distancing here, as Mark Ewing told us earlier with Stan Weber. So we're doing things right that way. It looks like everybody's very cooperative, and I know the crowd is limited tonight, but still very, very vocal and in a good atmosphere here.
Yeah, we're going to have about 1,400 people, 1,500 people here inside the stands, and so far, we're hearing the announcement right now about keep your social distance, make sure you have a mask if you're going to be in your family group, and I've been communicating with our local contacts with Shawnee County throughout the whole day already as the gates open, and so far we feel like we're in pretty good position, and I really do. I'm just so thrilled. The people have done what they're supposed to do. Our kids did it all week long. What an ask we had of them, and they rose to the occasion. It was amazing.
And not only having this game in extraordinary circumstances, you've really done a nice job of trying to keep this thing as normal as possible for these young men.
Yeah, we did. Once somebody talked to me that was a former coach, and he said, I heard you guys kept it normal as possible, fed these kids a tremendous amount of food, because that's what we do, and we did. We had so many good partners here locally. We had a great housing partner in our hotel at the Ramada Inn that allowed us to come stay there at an affordable rate that we wouldn't have been able to do it if we couldn't, so and as well. So it's just been, all the people who've stepped up have really made it happen.
Well, every year we say it's more than just a football game, and it really is this year. And also it's special for these young men. A lot of these guys, multi-sport athletes, who didn't get to play a sport during the spring, it was wiped out. This is their first chance last chance to play a high school football game.
Right, and I think that's what ended up reflecting in what they why they were so enthusiastic and accommodating, because they knew how special it was.
All right, BJ, thank you so much, and congratulations. And we're just minutes away from kickoff. We're going to send it to the voice of the Kansas Shrine Bowl, Mark Ewing.
So tribute to B.J. Harris for making this happen. There's a long list of Kansas schoolboy legends who have been able to call themselves Kansas Shrine Bowl All-Stars. The next chapter is a similar storyline with a very unique backdrop, and it is more than just a game, Stan. It is for the kids, and it's certainly an idea that is being expressed at the moment as they take a moment of silence here, and the national, our national flag comes to midfield.
Well, it's for all the kids. The players, the strong legs run so the weak legs can walk.
As the Kansas Shrine Bowl turns 47 years old, introductions to the teams involved are taking place on the field, and you see a screen right there is going to enter your, as you're watching at home, the American flag being brought in by the Shriners. One of the biggest changes to the game was the cancellation of the Kansas Masonic All-State Marching Band. Organizers thought it would be too much of a risk to put 200 band members together given the current health crisis. But traditionally, that band has consisted of young men and women from high schools across Kansas. They've donated their time and talents for 4 days of camp preparing for today's parade. The band has been a continuous and very beneficial element of the Kansas Shrine Bowl since 1984. And with that in mind, we're going to go pitch it to public address announcer Jimmy Brew. Something a little bit different in the order of what they're going to do for the national anthem. So Jimmy Brew, take it away.
We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity, do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And for the support of this declaration, with a firm reliance on the perfection of divine providence, we mutually pledge our lives, our fortunes, and sacred honor. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, well done by the Kansas Masonic All-State Marching Band. William Woodsworth, Emporia State Band Director, and A.J. Pence, Valley Falls Band Director, worked together to bring forth that unique idea. And, hey, let's do it again at halftime. I think we will. That was just terrific, wasn't it, Stan? That was a unique flavor of the Shrine Bowl.
Well, it's amazing what technology can do. We used to have no idea what the company Zoom was, and now you're doing things like this. This is amazing.
All right, well, we're getting set to go from Andale to Axtell and from Riverton to Riley County, the hometown high schools. The Kansas Shrine Bowl All-Stars represent nearly every flavor. The Kansas Gridiron landscape from east to west. The next class of Shrine Bowl All-Stars has taken the field into the most extraordinary of conditions. A global pandemic known as COVID-19 has provided pause, but certainly no reason to quit. And as a group, they've shown incredible resilience, each and every one of them, an all-star selection in every sense of the word, because as talented as they are on the gridiron, they've been selected to play in this game because they are all-star student athletes of their respective communities, taking part in one of the most honorable and exciting events that the landscape of the Sunflower State has to offer. So we are all set to embrace the 47th annual Kansas Shrine Bowl. You're taking a look at the East squad as they take the field. They'll sit on the near side, and that is the home side of the field. The East dressed in the red, trimmed in white. That is the home squad tonight. And then across the way, the West squad. They're considered the visiting team. And the interesting thing about this is because traditionally both teams would practice in their respective sides of the state, but because of COVID-19, they both practiced in Topeka. So East versus West takes on a completely different meaning this time around.
It does. You have contact with the other side. There's no doubt about that. It used to be trips to St. Louis, to the Shriners Hospital. Then there were the other events that you'd be around each other. But this time they're in the same hotel, had a lot of time to walk by, and the competitive fire tries to stay low in your body. You smile and you wave, but they don't know you're smiling because you can even frown at them now because you got a mask on. You go, ugh. You couldn't do that in the old days. We had to smile at them in the old days, but now you can still wave, do whatever you want to under your mask, and get ready to play. And they're excited to go hit somebody, tackle people. This looks like a real football game. There are fans in the stands. There's football players dressed up. This is only the third game since COVID-19 hit. Nebraska started it last week with a Shrine Bowl. This is the third game played since then, and it is awesome to see football again in 2020.
At center field, the team captains from both sides, representing the East, Quinn Bessing from Axtell, Joshua Hull from Humboldt, Kali Salih from Jefferson West, and Reese Spockman from Blue Valley North. And the West captains in the green uniforms, Hadley Panzer from Lakin, who we'll talk about at length, Tyler Dorsey out of Derby, Fuzio Cheraz from Garden City, Tony Caldwell from Valley Center. And just the captains themselves really represent an interesting group, different size schools, different classifications, and now they're on the field for the coin toss here.
It is really fun to see different classifications play because some guys that play 8-man football or 1 or 2A football think, gosh, how big are those guys that play 6A? Then they just realize, hey, they're just human beings and I can compete with them as well. You'll see that happen tonight. You know, Mark, I've been around this game a long time. You've done 20 years straight with me here, but I'm into the uniforms. Do you realize the green jerseys and white pants that the West is wearing? That's traditional. Up until the last 6 years, they wore that in the first 40 games. Then they went all white for a little while. Then they went all green for a couple years. Now they're back in their traditional. But look at the East very closely. For the first time ever, they're wearing white pants. They've always wore red over red. 46 years of red over red. And tonight they're wearing the white pants. Thanks so much for the company in Pittsburgh that made the uniforms for the players, donated them, and allowed them to get out here and look so good.
Interesting to note, the game uses 12-minute quarters. It is governed by high school federation rules with no special Shrine Bowl rules. At the moment, clear skies. The temperature, get this, 97 degrees. Winds from the south at 15 to 25 miles per hour. Heat index, guess what it is, Stan? It's 108. 108 right
wow.
Is that the hottest? That's got to be a record.
This is the hottest temperature we've had this summer, and it's the windiest day we've had this summer. That just shows you it's time to play football.
Yeah,
that's just the way it works.
And
when you're a quarterback throwing into the wind from left to right on your screen, it is not so easy to throw into that wind.
West won the toss, deferred to the second half. East will be the team that returns this kickoff. East will have the football first. In a game that began back in 1974, And the Hummer Sports Park being the site for the first time. The game has been in Topeka several times.
6 times.
6 times. This is the
fourth most. K-State's had it 9 in Manhattan. Wichita's had it 9 times. Lawrence 7, and this is the 6th time in Topeka.
All right, fans excited about it. They're looking forward to it. Anticipation. Here comes the kickoff. And we got 2 men back for the East squad. Looks like we might have a return from the 7-yard line. Picked up on the scoop, 15, out to the 20. And gets a block out to the 25, 30-yard line, out to the 31, 32-yard line. And the East squad will go to work. First down and 10 at its own 31-yard line. Steve Bueller's the head coach of the East squad. His quarterback was scheduled to be Quinn Bessing. So I'll take a look at 6'1", 185 from Axtell. And the first thing you notice about that 8-man football starting quarterback, there he is, number 10. He is on the field. An 8-man quarterback is starting. That's got to be a first for the Shrine Bowl.
I think it is. I have not heard about an 8-man quarterback earning the job to run out there. Now, these are all stars. The other quarterback will rotate in, Chase Torkelson. But Quinn Bessing, Lusing gets a chance to start here as an 8-man football player out of Axtell.
There we go. First down and 10. The ball marked to the 31-yard line. Pass to the near side. It's incomplete. East squad goes to the air first. And the pass is incomplete. There to defend for the West squad was Travion Mitchell. He was among the defensive backs. West squad looks really good on defense. It'll be tough to move it down the field, but as much as they've got it going there, the East squad on offense just trying to get it into its skill players. And among those, Evan Rinaldo, Blue Valley Northwest, goes 6'2", 185. He's a player that the East squad will look to. Perry Lecompton coach Mike Paramore, by the way, is the offensive coordinator of the East squad. Second down and 10. Snap. And a pass is complete. 2 passing downs to start the game for the East squad, and a short gain out to about, we'll call it the 34-yard line, pickup of about 3 yards.
Quick passing game to start the game for East. The first play was blown up because the snap rolled back to the quarterback, so really no chance to get in rhythm. That time he does throw, gets a short completion, but already it's third down, and that defensive front, good, fast, tall defensive line, and they also brought a blitz on that second down play.
First third down play, and he'll step up and try to get away from trouble, but whistles blew. Referee stepped in and blew the whistle immediately upon the snap of the football. Did you see what happened, Stan?
Well, I thought the green team moved into the neutral zone, but they did it because of movement on the East squad. So we have our first penalty of the game, and you can imagine in a lot of games you have penalties. It's surprising how often Shrine Bowl players play clean, but there's a mistake by the East, 5-yard penalty.
So there's the officials. We got our first official call of the game here. There are 15 officials calling it. They'll do divide up in 7 and 7, one for the first half, another crew for the second half. And so that makes third down a little bit more difficult. Third down and 12, ball pushed back to about the 29-yard line. Spread set, 5 receivers, and a big rush is coming in, and he's going to be brought down and sacked. Back at the 20-yard line, no chance. Somebody missed a block up front, and that was just a straight shot at the quarterback, and it looked like on the sack was Hunter Yeager of Scott Community.
Hunter Yeager came off the edge. He blitzed on second down. This time he came on third down, and he got straight to the quarterback, a young man whose dad, James, actually played in a 1991 Shrine Bowl, shows up early and makes a sack on third down.
Punter standing back at the 10-yard line and now looking to the sideline to see what's going to happen there. Campbell Haverkamp. And now looking for a little bit of help as Quinn Bessing, the quarterback, is back on the field, the short blocker. The punter back at the 10-yard line, and he's going to punt into the wind. Pretty good punt, in fact. Could be a return, might not be, not going to be a return. Down there, downfield for the East squad, Tabor Vetter. And Vetter sets it down. West squad will go to work on the 37-yard line. We'll take a break here. East 3 and out. West takes the football when we come back to Topeka.
Sports are full of empowering moments. The game-winning field goal, an athlete overcoming an injury. At Cotton O'Neill Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, we live for those empowering moments. Our team is well equipped to care for all sports-related injuries. Our experts tailor-make treatment plans to fit you, because when it comes to winning, there's no one-size-fits-all approach. Discover the many ways Cotton O'Neill Orthopedics and Sports Medicine can empower your victories.
I had no idea you did that.
We hear that a lot. You probably know that CDL is #1 in electrical services for your home and business. But we do so much more, like plumbing, heat and air, security cameras and alarms, generators, solar panels, even signs and banners. So now you know. CDL is one company with so many solutions for your home or business. Learn more at cdlsolution.com.
So, what is love? Love is being independent. Love is dancing. At Shriners Hospital for Children, love is a new smile.
At Shriners Hospitals for Children, love is caring for a child regardless of the family's ability to pay. Learn how you can send your love to the rescue at lovetotherescue.org.
Get back in the game with the Kansas Shrine Bowl Alumni Association. We hope the Kansas Shrine Bowl had an impact on your life. Now help us continue to impact the lives of kids at Shriners Hospitals for Children. Get reconnected with the Kansas Shrine Bowl at kansasshrinebowl.com/alumni. This year we'll have special offers and events just for our alumni. Former coaches, players, and staff members, go to kansasshrinebowl.com/alumni and complete the form.
The West squad had to replace 8 players off the original roster because of COVID-19 as well as some other factors, but the West has at least a half dozen athletes as they take it first down and 10 on their first possession of the ball game, their own 37. A half a dozen athletes who are either offensive or defensive players of the year in their respective conference. And so they've got a lot of talent remaining, including Cade Melvin. Melvin on the carry gets about 8 or 9 yards up against that, well, we'll give it 7, up against that East defense. He's a pretty talented player, and the West would like to bring it right down the middle if they can.
He's a very talented athlete, and he can run the football. Going to go to Fort Hays State. His dad, Lucas, is a Shrine Bowl assistant coach, the head coach at Norton Community. That is a 2A school. So you got a starting quarterback on the East from 8-man football and the starting quarterback on the West from 2A.
Melvin looking for a receiver. That ball knocked away. Defensive play by Campbell Haverkamp as he got in front of the receiver. That was a nice play downfield, well executed by the West squad, but a nice defensive play made by the 6-foot, 170-pound defensive pack out of Centralia. Keeps the West from getting the first down of the ball game.
Haverkamp is a player that can play offense very well, like a lot of these high school all-stars. Going to walk on to Kansas State next year and might be on the offensive side. Today he's playing cornerback.
Third down and 2. Here's the give to the running back, and he is stopped short of the line of scrimmage, and among those in on the tackle, Abe Morgan out of Mar Hill, first team all-league, all-state linebacker, and he showed why as he steps up to make the stop.
A good point of attack defense there. After the West gained 7 or 8 yards on first down, it looked like they're going to have an easy play to get a first down, and instead an incomplete pass and then stuffing them at the line of scrimmage. And suddenly it's 3 and out, but the West doesn't look like they're sending a punting team out in their own territory. Yeah. 45-yard line. Will it be a quick kick or will they run a play?
I'll see what they're going to do. 4th down and 4. Back is in motion. And there's a rollout. Trying to make a play and gets the ball nearly intercepted. But there's a 4th down stop by the East squad and a nice rollout, but a terrific play made by, guess who, Abe Morgan again. We're going to take a break here. Scoreless ball game as the East forces the West to go 3 and out. We're back to Topeka with an East possession in West territory when we return to Topeka.
Sign Brothers, a proud Shrine Bowl partner, is more than your average sign company. We go statewide, specializing in all types of messages for sports and schools. Wall graphics for locker rooms, gyms, or school entry areas. Sign Brothers will design and install graphics that get your students and players excited about this school year. They also make banners, field and gym signs, plus all types of custom COVID messages for directions and social distancing. So reach out today for custom designed signs and learn about our special pricing for your school or business.
At Emporia State University, you can be yourself. You can chase your dreams. And you can change your future. Start discovering Emporia State University today.
My daughter was diagnosed with scoliosis.
Connor's right leg was shorter than the left.
Her issues were so rare.
I wanted a doctor who's experienced at treating my child's exact condition.
That's why we went to Shriners Hospitals for Children.
These doctors develop the most advanced procedures.
They do so much research.
With some of the most innovative doctors in the world.
And they put all their best thinking, all their love into healing my child.
And they did it, regardless of our ability to pay.
My daughter is who she is today because of Shriners Hospitals for Children.
East will get a short field as they have it on the West 44-yard line. Scoreless ball game, first quarter, East versus West. Hummer Sports Park in Topeka, 47th annual Kansas Shrine Bowl. Boosing back in the ball game and is going to keep it, trying to get a couple of yards, and gets just that, a couple of yards, trying to test that West defense up the middle. Not going to be a lot of room with those tough linebackers they've got, but got to get a little space and a real opportunity here stand for the East squad with a short field.
Yeah, after stopping them on fourth down, the West loses the ball in their own territory, so you hope that creates a little momentum if you're on the East side. But right now you're seeing a West team that's firing their linebackers into the line of scrimmage, and so far that has really caused some havoc for the East offense.
No gain, second down and 10, spread receivers, and whistles and flags blow. So the whistles blow, flags fly.
Wide receivers moved early on the right side, a little excited, trying to get a deeper pattern, and that'll be the second 5-yard penalty for a false start for the East tonight.
Offense, number 1, 5-yard penalty.
Tabor Vetter took off a little bit early.
White hats tonight, Armando Espinoza for the first half and Bill Kleckon. A lot of familiar names. Those guys come back year after year. They don't get paid for it, by the way. They just want to contribute to the game. And the second flag so far, second penalty in the East squad, makes it second down 15. Ball near midfield at the 49-yard line. And the quarterback at Axtell stands by himself, and he's not going to get out of the way of that one. Another sack, another 10-yard loss. And in on the play is Judson Wiltfong out of Norton. He's a big kid, 6'5", 220. I wouldn't want to get hit by him, but boy, did Boosing take a hit that time.
Well, they're coming off the edge, and right now they're sending a lot of receivers out. There's no tight end and no running back in the backfield. So they're not equipped to stop the blitz. You got to have a quick pass, or you're going to have to find another player staying back in blocking formation. So far, the East is not doing that, and the West is taking advantage of it with free runs to the quarterback.
Third down 25, going to be a long field to get there. Boosing takes off. He's going to get close to midfield, stop to the 46-yard line. West makes another stop. And the East, once again, is going to be in position where we're going to have to punt the football away. Judson Wiltfong again in on the play. Sports in Kansas Defensive Player of the Year, showing why, as he's caused a lot of havoc in the East offense so far.
Yeah, and you know who his sports idol is? Amazingly, it just blows my mind when he says Bo Jackson.
Bo Jackson.
Like Bo Jackson retired before he's probably born. And yet he must have watched YouTube.
Yeah,
because Bo Jackson's worthy of being a favorite player.
I'm sure
just surprising when a young man about 18 years old now picks Bo Jackson.
I wonder if Bo knows that Judson Wiltfong.
That's right. That's a Nike commercial right there.
Here's the punt. It's end over end, not a long one. It's going to take, in fact, a West bounce, and the East guys jump on it, ball at the 33-yard line. So that was a drive that started at the West Territory 44, and they're going to hand it over basically after pushing it down about 11 yards. So the East punts it over the West side, and West is going to get the football back.
Well, pushing it the wrong way. The West pushed them a negative 11 yards on that possession. So the big sack was the difference. So far, West pressure on the quarterback has been a big story. And punting into the wind, you've got to say that Campbell Haverkamp has done a pretty good job so far punting for the East.
Well, let's see what the West can do. First down and 10. The drive starts from his own 33-yard line. First time they had the football, they gave it up on a punt, had it 7 yards on the first carry, and then ended up punting it away. Here's a screen set up. Boy, big hit, but the catch is made. Going to get it back to the line of scrimmage. That looked like on the catch, I think that was our first look at Jeremiah Brown from Wichita West. If you're going to find a player in space, that would be a guy to get it to.
Well, his space was taken up quickly, like big number 64. Kali Saili was there. How about folding back, looking for the wide receiver screen, and the big guy making the crunching tackle for a short gain.
Second down and 8. Jeremiah Brown lines up to the right side of your screen as you look at it. A single back next to the quarterback and back on the rollout. Rolling to the right side under pressure. Looking for a receiver, nearly picked off. And was it picked off? I think it was. Interception by the East squad. Campbell Haverkamp who's an all-state first-teamer as a defensive back, also played quarterback for Centralia, makes the interception, and the East team has the football in prime territory, deep in West territory.
Now the rollout pass to the right was thrown right along the sideline, and breaking on the football, Haverkamp was there, made a beautiful catch coming forward and kept his feet in bounds. And the East, in their third possession, will get their second time to start in West territory. This time it's a 34 with a big interception.
Yeah, East first down and 10, 34-yard line. The East squad had to replace 15 players from the initial 36-man roster because of COVID-19. And looking to the air, trying to get a big play toward the 10-yard line. Pass is caught. Caught downfield by Evan Ronaldo, the voted the most improved player for Blue Valley Northwest. He went up over. That's what they say, hey, he got mossed, right?
Yeah.
And he's 6'2", 185. Boy, he is quite a talent there.
Ronaldo making a catch, and this is actually his last football game. And I always think about those guys that are not going to play football in college, have other plans. He's going to go to K-State, but how about that for a night to start, going up high and making a catch?
First down and 10, looking for the running back, gets about 7 yards. In fact, the new quarterback for the East squad is Chase Torkelson. Chase Torkelson, 6'2", 175. He wears number 2. He's at a Basehor Linwood. He'll play baseball at Crowder next year. All-state quarterback and known for his pitching. He'd like to pitch the East in for a score here, the first score of the game, if they can get about 7 more yards.
Crowder Community College is a community college in Missouri. He loves baseball. It's his favorite sport. And so this will be his last football game tonight, and he wants to get a touchdown on his first possession.
Second down and goal for the East squad. Ball at the 7-yard line. Pass is made. Caught at the 10. Makes a little bit of a move. Does Tabor Vetter. And may have gotten back to the line of scrimmage, but not much more. West squad made the play.
A good tackle over there. Cornerbacks nowadays, Mark, have to be like linebackers in tackling. You know how often they throw the football right down the line and make it almost like a running play. And those guys not only have to cover people 30, 40, 50 yards downfield, you got to fight off blockers and make a tackle. And the West squad's defense does it very good there.
Chase Torkelson, one of the top passers in 4A, threw for 2,483 yards, 22 touchdowns on the air, 6 on the ground. So he can go to the air easily. He can also run it in himself. We'll see what they're going to do. Third down and 7. And he's going to try to keep it up the 5-yard line. Caught from behind and dragged down. What a play made by, among others, Trey DeGarmo from Andover Central in on the stop.
And Keaton Robinson got there on the ankle to slow him down at first and keep him from gaining much yardage. So inside the 7-yard line near the 6 with 4th down, it looks like the East team may choose to kick a field goal.
All right, so Campbell Haverkamp is the East team's kicker. He's out of Centralia. In fact, he's the guy that delivered the interception. So now a chance to get the INT and the field goal. So it's Ronaldo, is it not? Ronaldo's the kicker.
Yeah, the guy who makes the big catch down to the 10 gets a chance to try to score.
All right, fine. So Haverkamp is the holder. Evan Ronaldo is the kicker. And now a whistle and timeout.
East, first charge of the half.
Timeout in the field is going to be called for the first time. They're going to talk about it. 4th down and 6. The East got themselves into position to score via the interception. And now a chance to put 3 on the board here. We'll see if they can pull that off.
Steve Bueller, the head coach, is in his 8th year coming up in 2020 at Washburn Rural and has a decision here. Is he going to believe in a kicking game? Remember, they didn't have a lot of time together. They didn't practice for 2 weeks or even 10 days. It's basically been a week. Now, they've had 2-a-days, 3-a-days, but you know there's not enough time. As much football as they tried to teach these kids, and the alertness they had was amazing. They really learned a lot of offense and defense, but your special teams, you can't spend a great amount of time. But here's a big time to execute for the East. If you can make this field goal, you can go up 3-0.
Always something about getting the first points on the board that sort of eases the tension. There's a little bit of nerves involved when you play the Shrine Bowl game. And in fact, at the moment, it looks like the officials are calling, it looks like a water timeout. That would be my guess.
It's freezing the kicker. You can't do the water timeout and freeze the kicker. And you're going to give him freezing cold water, too, to freeze him even more.
We got to see the Shrine Bowl rules on that. I'm not sure how that went.
Wait a second.
It does give me a chance to mention that this is the 47th annual Kansas Shrine Bowl. The event is used as a fundraiser for Shriners Hospitals for Children. The West team has won 28 of the previous 46. The West, in fact, has won 2 of the last 3. One in Dodge City last year, 26-7. But Hummer Sports Park is considered East Territory. USD 501 lays claim to be the hometown football turf of at least one Topeka high school every Friday night in the fall. So this is the home of Topeka West, Topeka High, and Highland Park.
And 4A state championship games played here.
Yes, the 4A state, and they play state soccer. Baseball's nearby. Swimming is just over the way. This is a really, really nice sports facility in the city of Topeka, and USD 501 has done a great job manufacturing it. Be sure to support the Kansas Shrine Bowl. Pick up some great new 2020 gear. Go to www.kansasshrinebowl.com/gear. That's www.kansasshrinebowl.com gear to check out the new design.
It is important for the East to get a little momentum and score with the advantages they've been given. 2 possessions starting in West Territory, and the fact the West has won 10 of the last 14 times these teams have played. Now, it may not matter, but I'm telling you, the West players talk about last year and say, let's keep the tradition going.
Colby Holting, long snapper. Kick is up from the 23-yard attempt. It's up and good. The East team gets on the scoreboard with an end-over-end kick into that tough wind, and the East squad leads 3-0.
That was like slow motion. Wasn't that cool? I mean, he's kicking it strong into the wind. Just try to keep it centered up and take it through. He makes the big catch, and he makes the kick into the wind.
Well, we always said the special teams very often makes the difference, either a block kick, missed kick, punt or kickoff return. But in this case, the kickoff or the field goal is up and good, 3-0. That's the East has the field goal, 3-0 on the West squad, and 3:57 here to go in the first quarter.
Well, they needed to take advantage of their opportunities they've been given. So they did, getting a score, but the West defense has done a pretty nice job. You know, they've been put in bad situations and been able to hold the East to only 3 points, and now they're looking for their West offense to get going.
All right, so the East squad, because of COVID-19, they had to replace 15 players I had mentioned, which is certainly more than 1/3 of the team.
Not from illness, though.
Not from illness.
They announced them in January,
yeah.
And then things have changed since then. Some kids aren't available, that type of thing. All the ones that were asked, ultimately, all 36 from each squad came in right on time and were ready to roll. And that's not an easy thing to do, and it's a big decision because the players not only had to read a document that said, here are the risks, you understand the risks, you are taking the risk by playing this football game, by being in Topeka during this week, and their parents were there as well. They had to sign. So it was a collaborative effort from each of them, and they all signed up, they all showed up, and boy, what's really cool is they have been a great example for everybody in America because they were given rules and they have followed them completely. When they weren't in their rooms, they had their masks on, and they were no problem. They had to sit in the same seat on the bus. They had meal protocol. They followed every bit of it, and the coaches are just raving with how good these teams have come together, how they've been excited about doing the right thing, all for the reward to play football. And I hope this is an example for others. Reading all the news, coming hot off the press, NFL teams getting ready to have players report, including the Kansas City Chiefs, and questions about, well, what about the safety? What about the protocols? Can we play football? All kinds of questions. But guess what? These guys are playing football, and it's amazing to see. A lot of fun, and the crowd excited to be here tonight as well.
West is made up of about a dozen Wichita area athletes. The roster includes sizable cities like Kansas and like Garden City and Manhattan, and then about half come from small-town rural areas. In fact, there are 7 future Fort Hays State Tigers on the roster of the West team, and following the kickoff, West is going to take over here in pretty fine shape. Now to about the 37-yard line, first down and 10. So what's the West need to do on offense to get a sustained drive together?
Well, you talk about 7 guys from Fort Hays State, and there's 6 guys from Washburn, and MIAA football is a big deal, and it's great that a lot of Kansas kids get to play. But in a lot of years, you have a lot of FBS Division I players in the game. This year, only one, number 54, left tackle, Hadley Panzer, going to K-State. I'd run the ball behind him. I'd let him start establishing his physicality right away.
3 minutes, 53 seconds to go here, first quarter, 3-0 East squad, and the quarterback will keep it, moves up a couple of yards up to the 42, 43-yard line, and that seems to be a pretty good play so far for the West squad. They tried it a couple of times. You may remember their first play was about 7 yards. This one is a pickup of about 5.
Well, they did go right to the left side, right off left tackle where Hadley Panzer, the big offensive lineman on his way to K-State with a scholarship. He was a high school wrestler that was dominant. And on that play, he got upfield with athleticism, logged the linebacker in, and allowed the run to go over the left side.
Cade Melvin remains the quarterback, threw for over 1,800 yards as a senior. wasn't the slated starter of the Shrine Bowl, but earned the job. And we'll see if he can bring back the West squad from a 3-0 deficit. Give us to the running back, gets to the 46-yard line. First down marker is about the 47, so it's going to be third and short yardage for the West squad. Dalton Miller, 5'11", 185, out of Great Bend, headed to Fort Hays State on the carry.
Tommy Beeson, the head coach at Goddard High School, is the head coach of the West team. And after the running play, his offensive coordinator group said, unlike the first drive, let's don't just throw. Let's follow it up with a run. I'd expect them to do the same thing. They've really shared the offensive coordinatorship. Derek Tuttle, Aaron Beck, Jeff Werner, all three of them have worked together, combined their systems, and they are all three offensive coordinators. Two of them are signaling in the plays to different players on each play.
Cade Melvin, still the quarterback. He's got a back to his shoulder and some movement up front. Looked like some movement on the right side of the West side, but we'll see.
West.
How in fact, they're going to call timeout. West is going to call timeout to talk about it. They have a pretty tough play here, 3rd down and 1. They like to keep the momentum going and try to get the first down going here.
Yeah, you got to get it right here. You're 3rd and short. You should be able to make 1 yard, and we've seen that they've already decided not to punt on the first possession. You may have 2 plays to get it here, but burning timeouts in the first half, not a big deal. Get your team settled and straight and get ready to run a good play.
In fact, head coach Tommy Beeson of Goddard, he's coached football, baseball, basketball, spent time at Wichita West, Wichita North, Wichita Northwest, grew up in Allen, Texas, before playing college football at Sterling, Masters at Baker, was offensive coordinator at Goddard before being promoted to head coach, directed squad to the state title game. So he is a very decorated, well-traveled coach.
Yeah, he took a long time as an assistant under Scott Vang. Remember, Scott Vang was the head coach a couple years ago for the West squad in the Shrine Bowl. He was at Goddard, but he went on to be the athletic director at El Dorado. And now stepping up, Tommy Beeson in his 3rd year, in his first 2 years, like you said, that first year went right. Everything went right, and they went to the state championship game and lost. They went 10-3 that year. Last year they lost a ton of close games, including the rivalry game with Goddard Eisenhower.
Yeah.
It was kind of a miracle win by Goddard Eisenhower. But Goddard lost that game. They lost a playoff game in close fashion. So Goddard was close last year, but didn't have a great record, 4-6. And if I'm talking too much about Goddard, it didn't happen too often.
Right,
but I'm so old, it's hard to remember. But I actually went to Goddard High School before there was an Eisenhower.
Before they split to 2 schools.
That's right.
Many years ago. Well, that corner. Let's go to Leon Liebels with Chet Copeland. Leon.
Perhaps knows more about high school sports in this state than anybody from sports in Kansas. Chet, your impressions so far, and how special is it to actually see a real-life football game, man?
I got chills out there looking at it because we've not had sports since the Final Four of basketball in Kansas, so it's awesome to see it, the crowd cheering, and, man, we have football in Kansas. I'm still kind of shocked.
It's terrific to watch, and it's underway. Let's send it back to Mark and Stan.
All right, thank you very much. Chet Copeland, such a knowledgeable person involved in high school sports in Kansas, and his website, Sports in Kansas, worth watching, worth following, is a 3rd down and 1.
Stuffed.
And nowhere to go. So they're going to go for another 4th down attempt here.
Wow, here we go again.
All right, 4th down. West not even at midfield, so if they were not to get the first down, it would be the 3rd time that the East would get the football in West territory. We'll see what happens. Cade Melvin, the quarterback for the West squad, high snap's going to keep it. It's going to get stuffed himself. Loss on the play and a big tackle by Ethan Shaver. He's out of Riverton, 5'8", 201. He was almost like he was in the West huddle, and the East is going to take over the football.
A high snap slowed down the quarterback, Cade Melvin, and then slowing him down was Big 21 coming off the edge. Ethan Staver there to make the tackle, but there is a penalty on the play.
First down for the defense. After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct.
It's unsportsmanlike against
of the offense.
The West. So not only do they get stopped, they're going to add 15 more yards, and the East is going to get great field position.
Yeah, the East has started at the West 44-34, and it's even going to be better this time, up 3-0, and an opportunity here
Correction, 44 of East.
Get themselves in terrific position. The officials are talking about it.
It is East ball, 1st down and 10.
Now they're saying maybe it's on the East. The official pointed one direction, but the guy with the ball in his hand, the umpire, went the other. So
okay,
that's a big 15-yard penalty against the East and a 30-yard difference in the direction they're going.
You don't think they're trying to trick us, do they?
They did. They sure tricked us.
They certainly did. East squad up 3-0, about to get the football here. First down on their own 47-yard line. So this will be only the second time in the game that the East squad will start on their side of the field. And the West not pleased about it. The East squad, by the way, had things gone normally, would have had Kai Thomas, who played for Topeka High. The East does have 5 players from Topeka area high schools, as well as 2 coaches. So the East squad, being Topeka is the home city for it, is very capital city oriented. And if you follow high school sports in Topeka, just a terrific place for it. The Centennial League is breaking up in a couple of years. That includes all 7 Topeka schools in Manhattan, Junction City. They're breaking up, so they're going to be in different leagues. Handoff is to the left side, gets a block, and on the carry for the East squad,
Connor Havlin.
Connor Havlin, that's right, kid from Humboldt. He's headed to Pitt State, 6'1", 185. He's also a 2-time state champion in Legion baseball. So multi-sport athletes.
Now these guys seem to be good at a lot of sports. That's pretty apparent, and that's one of the reasons why they're all-stars here. You know, Steve Bueller, the head coach of the East, is right here in Topeka. You talk about the influence there, and I said that he'd been here going into his 8th year at Washburn Rural, but before that, he had 15 years at Rossville and had won more games at Rossville, 120, than any coach in their history.
Second, Jace Torkelson gives to the back right behind him, gets a little room to run, the 50 out to the 47-yard line in East or S territory, and once again, it's Havlin out of Humboldt, and he gets a couple of carries back-to-back. It makes sense, Stan, to give a back a couple of carries to get a little bit of rhythm, though it doesn't happen in this game very often. Typically, the ball is really spread around a lot, but Havlin's got a couple of carries here.
That's one of the challenges about being in an all-star game is you can't get into the rhythm. And most of these athletes were their guy. At their high school, they were going to get many opportunities and play down after down after down, maybe even play both ways. And here, you're not going to play both ways, and you're going to share with other players. So it's one of the things that's a challenge. Not only has it been a long time since they played football and had the uniforms on, but they also don't get that chance to play after play very often.
You know, I saw the play clock wind down. I think this is going to be a delay of game. This is 3rd and 4. It's going to make it 3rd and 9.
False start. Offense. Number 84. 5-yard penalty. Remains 3rd down.
And that's the second time a receiver has moved early. So sometimes you get a little excited out there, and coaches will say, a receiver should never jump because they shouldn't be listening to the snap count. They should be watching the football only. But with no crowd noise, and if football's played, the NFL guys may not have crowd noise. They may accidentally start listening to the snap count too much. A lot of times in the big stadiums, it's no problem. You can't hear anything. But you got to wait till the ball's snapped.
3rd down and 9. I would choose to have the wind at your back. I'd be surprised if they snap it. Now the West team's going to call timeout because what the West wants to do, they want the East to work against that wind.
That's a smart timeout.
Yeah, smart timeout by the West squad. And that's Leon. Oh, you get to take it away again. Leon, go ahead.
All right, Mark, and again with Chet Coupland, and we were talking earlier about how special just getting this game played and seeing real-life football, Chet.
Second charge.
Yeah, it's awesome, and it's another thing that's awesome to see kids from all levels here, Leon. We have 8-man players all the way to 6A. Some kids never going to play a football game again. You see them wearing their high school helmets out there, representing their towns, their schools, one last time. You know, some of these guys, D1 guys. Some of these guys are just going to go on to maybe a trade school or something like that, or maybe not go on to college. So it's awesome to see everybody come together for a great cause like this.
Yeah, you told me earlier, all shapes and sizes for this game tonight.
Yeah, you know, Axtell, Kansas, 43 kids in that high school. And the starting quarterback, Bussing out of Axtell, led his team for the, state title game this year for the first time in like 26 years. And this is a kid, of course, starting quarterback out here, 1A through 6A. 43 kids in that kid's high school out here. So it's really cool to see that. And, kids like Hadley Panzer out there, 2A high school. One of the biggest kids out there, and he's got a full-ride scholarship to the Kansas State Wildcats.
He is an intriguing story, Hadley Panzer, from Lakin, Kansas, way out in western Kansas in Kearney County. And tell that story. His dad got him in the combine a few years ago, the Shrine Bowl combine, to get a look.
Yeah, actually, he called me a couple years ago from right now and really had no idea who he was. I look at heights and weights to try to help kids get recruited across the state. We usually have the Kansas Shrine Bowl Combine every year, and we help, bring kids all over the state, and we donate that money back to the Shriners Hospitals. We didn't do that this year. Well, 2 years ago, a lot of the guys that were at that game, they're playing out here today, and Hadley Panzer drove 14-hour round trip to come to that. West captain today, full-ride scholarship to Kansas State 2 years later. Pretty cool.
Terrific story, and those stories continue, Mark.
3rd down and 9. Torkelson with a move. He's swarmed over by green shirts. Another sack for the West squad, and a 3rd down and 9. Nowhere to throw. Good coverage downfield. West makes the play, and the quarter is going to come to an end. The only excitement we saw in the first quarter was a field goal. The East is on the board. East leads West by a score of 3-0. You're watching the 47th annual Kansas Shrine Bowl for Hummer Sports Park in Topeka. The second quarter is on the way.
I had no idea you did that.
That's what I said when I learned CDL does more than just electrical work. Like plumbing, heat and air, security cameras and alarms, generators, solar panels, even signs for my business. CDL really is one company that has a solution for about everything in my home and business. Learn more at cdlsolution.com.
Sports are full of empowering moments. The game-winning field goal, an athlete overcoming an injury. At Cotton O'Neill Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, we live for those empowering moments. Our team is well equipped to care for all sports-related injuries. Our experts tailor-make treatment plans to fit you. Because when it comes to winning, there's no one-size-fits-all approach. Discover the many ways Cotton O'Neill Orthopedics and Sports Medicine can empower your victories.
How do you see the world?
At Shriners Hospitals for Children, we know that changing how you see things can turn them into everyday miracles.
Like riding my bike.
Breaking boards. Hugging my mom.
Every day for over 90 years, Shriners Hospitals for Children has been sending love to the rescue, regardless of a family's ability to pay.
If you know a child we can help, call or go online now.
Get back in the game with the Kansas Shrine Bowl Alumni Association. We hope the Kansas Shrine Bowl had an impact on your life. Now help us continue to impact the lives of kids at Shriners Hospitals for Children. Get reconnected with the Kansas Shrine Bowl at kansasshrinebowl.com/alumni. This year we'll have special offers and events just for our alumni. Former coaches, players, and staff members. Go to kansasshrinebowl.com/alumni and complete the form.
With Stan Weber and Mark Ewing, second quarter begins with the East squad leading the West by a score of 3-0 in the 47th annual Kansas Shrine Bowl. It is the 6th time that Topeka is hosting this event, dating back to 1988. The game will move to Hutchinson next year, back to Pittsburgh in 2022. The game has been played throughout Kansas each summer. Host cities have included Lawrence, Manhattan, Wichita, Topeka, Hayes, Emporia, Pittsburgh. And which one is missing? Last year,
El Dorado and Dodge City.
El Dorado and Dodge City are the two others.
The last time we played this game in Topeka was 2013.
Remember that night? It was, believe it or not, a cold front went through, and game time temperature was 78. I do not make that up because game time temperature tonight was 97.
Any temperature, I'm ready to play, but that was a beautiful night.
Yeah, it was,
and it was a good game. East won 22-19.
And they and it was sold out. People said, "I'm going to get out and watch that. The weather's great." Punt goes out of bounds. West will be in good shape up at the 18-yard line. So the West squad hasn't really gotten much going offensively, trying to get some rhythm, but we'll see what they can do. But down 3-0, low-scoring ball game early on. Both teams run a spread. They move the football. They get to the line of scrimmage very quickly. But so far, defense has ruled the day.
Yeah, defense has been on fire so far. The defensive coordinators have been aggressive. The tackling has been good. The angles of rushers, linebackers off the edge have not allowed the quarterback any room to maneuver to get a pass off or scramble so far. And we've seen a couple of quarterbacks for the West play. They have 3 different ones that they'll rotate through tonight.
West first down and 10, 17-yard line on the rollout. There's a handoff. And, boy, there to make the stop among those, Ethan Shaver was there. And I'm telling you, no room to roam for the green or the West side back as both nose tackle and tackle got to the ball carrier in a hurry.
Shaver's had a good start so far, and if you want to learn a little bit about business, I know you do some business there, Mark.
I do some finance, yeah.
Did you, as a high school kid, already own a business? Rams
no.
Lawn Care, owned by Ethan.
Well, there you go. What's he going to be doing?
So to him, 97 degrees is nothing.
Yeah, he's like, I'll get out here, and this is a break. Pass downfield, ball's caught at the 20-yard line, still on his feet. Going to be wrapped up and brought down. That's Connor Haas. three-time All-League player, All-State defensive back out of Paola, makes a pretty nice catch.
Yeah, and Garrett Harmison is the third quarterback into the ball game. Getting ready to play his last football game. He made a nice pass on that slant pattern. He's going to go to Manhattan Christian and play basketball next season.
Let me correct the receiver. It was Caden Hofer. He's out of Goddard, played for West head coach Tommy Beeson a year ago. He makes the catch. That brings up a third down as the West squad needs to get to about the 27, ball marked to the 20-yard line on the rollout. Looking for receivers. Got one right, the first down marker, but will it be enough? As going down to his knees to make the catch was Riley Petz out of Cheney, the 3A Offensive Player of the Year. He's signaling for a first down, but man, was it ever close.
I think it was a little bit short when he reached back, but he got a good spot. So there may be a measurement here, or maybe not. They're saying it is short, but I thought they could bring the chains in and take a look, and now they're going to give him the first down. So he gets the benefit of the doubt, and Cheney High School is a school that has a lot of tradition doing a lot of things, but winning at the highest level in football has been very, very tough. This year they made the semifinals in 3A in football, the highest position they've ever taken. They've never gotten that far before.
Well, and there's Pets on another catch there. Almost West's third consecutive pass completion. East team was kind of lobbying for a incomplete pass.
You see Garrett Harmison is throwing the ball a little bit low on these throws. And one of the reasons why is because he wants to keep it out of the wind to be safe. But one of the things that happens when you're throwing into the wind, it pushes it down. So if you start low and you're going into the wind, it's going to push it closer to the ground. So he may want to change his target just slightly up, but you do want to be careful because you throw it in the wind and it floats up there, it's going to get intercepted.
Garrett Harmison, the product out of Riley County, gives to the back, 30-yard line up to the 32, needs to get to the 37. The carry by Hayden Brown. Brown is out of Hayes, 5'10", 180. He shows some speed and gets a nice pickup on the carry.
You won't be surprised where he's going to school next year. The young man from Hayes is going to stay right in town and play for Fort Hays State, a very good football team in the MIAA. Oh, by the way, it might be something that was expected. His dad, Chris, is the head football coach at Fort Hays State.
Probably a good decision there. In fact,
I think his mother's going to be very happy.
I think Chris, in fact, was an assistant for a long time at Washburn University here in Topeka. Catch is made, 35-40, out to the 45 to midfield, and out of bounds into East Territory. And the biggest offensive play of the game is Kel Schroeder out of Sedgwick, who's headed to Bethany, makes the catch, first down West squad.
Great concentration to make that catch, because when he ran the out route, the defender was right on him. It almost caused a delay. They stopped for a second, and then here came the football, and Schroeder just plucked it out of the air and took off. The defender standing there didn't know what came. Schroeder on his way to Bethany. His dad played in the Shrine Bowl. Kel Schroeder's did in 1995. So it's amazing to see this game, 47th year, and you're seeing many kids who are playing whose fathers played earlier.
Harmison gives to the back again. It's Brown. Brown gets to the 45-yard line, pick up of about a yard, as the West is into East Territory for the first time on the night. Their fourth possession. Two of the first three, they went over on downs as they went for it on fourth down and were stopped. And the other possession was an interception that the East managed to turn into a field goal on the other end. That's the difference. 3-0. East leads on a field goal in the first quarter.
Well, if West does get in a rhythm on offense, it's going to be running the football. That's what they should be able to do well with that offensive line. But you realize it took some pass completions to get the running game a look.
Boy, Harmison doing a nice job. Good-looking kid, 6'3", 200 pounds. He's going to pitch it to the Jeremiah Brown. Brown, 45-40, makes a move 35 down to the 31-yard line. Jeremiah Brown out of Wichita West, who's going to play at Coffeyville, a defensive standout who led West in tackles, gets an end around and a nice pickup for the West squad.
Good diversity in the offense for the West on this possession, starting all the way back at their 18-yard line. And they throw the ball a couple of times, now get the running game going, and then a little diversity with a reverse and a gain all the way down to the 32-yard line by Jeremiah Brown.
Like this offensive set, three receivers left side of your screen, one down to the bottom portion of your screen. Here's Harmison on the rollout. Has a receiver down 25, 23-yard line. Harmison, by the way, the quarterback out of Riley County, is going to play basketball at Manhattan Christian. He's a decorated football, basketball, baseball player, kind of do it all, and he's got a 4.0 GPA.
Is that all? I mean, he's also in the band. He does choir, music, theater, forensics. I wonder if he needs to be a little more active.
I think he could.
He also throws a nice dart rolling to his left, right between a couple of defenders. That was perfect timing.
Almost like a chest pass. Here's a little pass here. Caught! 10-yard line. Down to the 7-yard line. The receiver is Caden Hofer, and the West team continues to roll down the field. And how about timing between the quarterback and the receiver on that one?
Harmison's taking no time in the pocket. Right when he got the snap, he knew where he wanted to go. He had a one-on-one situation and threw out to the right side, right in stride, and inside the 10 is the West going into this strong wind.
First down and goal at the 8-yard line. Brown is the back. He's right to the right side of Harmison. Now the fullback moves from the right to the left side and give it to the back. This is Joe Williams out of Wichita North. Gets down to about the 6-yard line. Joe Williams, 5'9", 165 pounds, had 3 touchdowns and 300 yards in a game, and he is also capable. Boy, the West is really spreading the ball around. They've had a lot of skill players so far who've touched the football.
Yeah, and Joe Williams III ought to be watched because I'm sure we got a great audience of people who want to watch some live sports and live football. But if there are coaches out there, do you realize Joe Williams III has not committed to any place?
Yeah,
He's available and wants to play football, and he might be a kid that has been overlooked.
Harmison rollout under pressure, and he is going to be brought down. Sack is made on the East squad by Terrence Adams. He's a 6', 197-pounder out of Shawnee Heights, and he's going to play at Coffeyville next year. He makes the sack on a big play for the East squad.
Well, he was the second player there. The rush initially was put on, got to the ankles of the quarterback, but Garrett Harmison was able to pull away. But coming in the second wave, Adams gets there to make the sack. A big play by the East, up only by 3. They would love to force the West to think about kicking. I'll give you a little hint. The West is not kicking, okay? They're going for fourth down, I'll promise you.
Is that right? Okay. Joe Williams, by the way, on the right side of Harmison, back under pressure. Screen play, there he is. Williams, 10-5 to the end zone, and he is going to be stopped at the half-yard line. Joe Williams took the short pass, tried to find the end zone, and then it's just stopped at the half-yard line. 5'9", 165-pounder. That was almost the first touchdown of the game. It falls just a half a yard short.
A little screen play, nice call in that situation. And now you make a quarterback change for a 4th down. So the second 4th down the West is going for this time inside the 1.
Yeah, Cade Melvin, the quarterback, and Norton comes back in. 4th down and 1. Receiver Caden Hofer goes out to the far side, and
Cade Melvin is more of a running quarterback, and so this is quarterback run game. This is a zone read type of play where you can decide if you want to hand off to the running back or keep the football. But it's been a nice drive. Pretty unbelievable that this has taken 13 plays from the West. We've had a reverse. We've had completed passes. We've had good running plays. A very nice drive. 18-yard line, and now the question is, will they get that last yard to get an 82-yard drive or get stuffed at the goal line?
3-0 is our score. East leads West. Are we taking a break here? I think we are. We're not taking a break. 3-0 East squad leads West. And let me mention this. In our pregame show, we talked a lot about events of the week. One of the highlights every year is the Hospital Visitation Day. They used to go to St. Louis, introduce themselves to some of the kids that this game benefited. And then in 2011, it actually changed. They brought the kids to the camps, which I think was really an improvement. Well, this year, what are you going to do with what's going on in our world? So what they did was they did a virtual Zoom with hospital patients, and I hear that went pretty well. So, talk about evolving to just adapt to what's going on. I mean, I think a lot of us could learn lessons from what the Shrine Bowl organizers have done. Instead of just saying, hey, we're not going to do it, they've done it. They just figured out another way.
Yeah, and it's really been the tradition. These guys are able to find answers in their hospitals. And the reason why they used to fly to St. Louis, and I was lucky enough to do that, is because that's where a Shriners Hospital is. So we went there, and there's never a charge for anybody who uses the hospital. That's what the Shrine Bowl is all about. That's what the Shriners are all about. So we went and saw the kids, and it was very good, and it really affected our lives. It taught us something for the rest of our lives. I'm telling you, it's life-changing. But then they decided in 2011 to bring the kids. Well, you know what it was? Just as effective. You go, okay, they made a great adjustment. And this week, I was really wondering, were the players really going to get the intent? And talking to the coaches who've been around the game, they said absolutely. They had one person who was able to show up in person, a lady that's now in college, and they had a great time on the Zoom. So these kids got a great adjustment as well.
Cade Melvin to the end zone. Touchdown, West squad. West takes the lead on a 1-yard plunge from Caden Melvin, and that's a drive that started at the 17-yard line, an 83-yard drive for the West squad. And hold on. The officials are talking. I don't see a flag, but it looks like just from the reaction of the crowd, there very likely something happened. The West squad went to its heavy set, and there's a flag on the field. All right, so much for the touchdown call. I was really revved up and had it going, but we're going to do this again, and probably not just a 4th down and 1, but 4th and more.
Conduct. Number 81 of East. 15 yards will be forced on the kickoff. Try.
All right, so 1 yard plunge will count the touchdown.
Correction, 81 West.
Yeah, he points to the west and says the east. I think he's still trying to throw us off, but this time he means west.
All right, so 6-3 is our score here. Extra point coming. Kicker for the West squad is scheduled to be Joel Montgomery, but the kicker I see for the West squad is Brady Dinkle out of St. Francis.
And he is a lefty.
All right, so Brady Dinkle out of St. Francis, 6'2", 185. Holder is Bo Foster out of Dodge City, and it's a fake. Looking toward the end zone, and it's caught. 2-pointer. How about that for a little wrinkle to the Shrine Bowl?
Did I tell you the little hint that the West isn't going to kick?
Ty Garrett out of Salina South catches the 2-point conversion and make it 8-3. They give you these secret plays that I don't get, and that's why.
Well,
I'm going to complain
I
about
like
that.
talking about football a little bit too much, and they didn't have a kicker assigned. They just have a bunch of all-stars and not guys who are ready to kick, so they faked it.
Yeah, they faked it. 8-3 is our score. Let's go to Leon Liebel. Leon.
We've got a very special guest with us, one of the greatest football players in the history of Kansas State University, the great quarterback Michael Bishop. And Michael, great to have you back in Kansas. You're representing one of our great sponsors, Mammoth Construction, and great to have you here.
Yes, sir. I'm glad to be here, and I'm excited to see some football. Right now, the only football being played in the state of Kansas, so it's exciting. I met the guys earlier. They're all excited. It's a great cause. So definitely looking forward to having a great time here.
And you told me you played in some high school all-star games back in the day.
Yes, sir. I was able to play in Texas high school football and then Texas baseball all-star game as well.
Now, what are you doing these days besides representing Mammoth Construction?
Actually, ambassador for Mammoth Construction, sports construction. So everything is going well. It's a great business, and the slogan is it's more than a field. So, and I think it's more of a community deal. So everybody's enjoying it, and they're doing some great work.
Runner-up for the Heisman Trophy in 1998.
Yes, sir.
You're on the ballot for the College Football Hall of Fame this year. How important would that be for you to make that?
For me, it's definitely important.
You told me it's overdue.
It's overdue. It's long overdue, but I feel great if I get in. But I'm also, take in, the great state of Kansas, the fans, all the guys I was able to play with at K-State. So if I get in this year, I'm taking everybody with me. So I'll make sure if I give a great speech, and I thank everybody because it's more than just me. There's a lot of hard work that went into it, and I'm just blessed to be in that situation.
Well, I think a lot of people, a lot of football fans in this state of Kansas and across the country really think you deserve that. What 2 great years at Kansas State before that?
Yes.
Junior college, the national undefeated 2 national championships. 2
national championships, yes, sir.
And again, finished second to Ricky Williams in the Heisman in 1998. Should you have won that?
I definitely should have won.
They're still debating that, aren't they?
Yes, they're still debating, but I mean, hats off to Ricky. He won it, and but in the back of my mind, I still play it back and, wish they would call my name for that trophy. But, he did a great job and, he deserved it. But, if something ever happened and they have a situation where they take it back, I'll take it.
All right. You told me you still throw that ball pretty long.
I can still throw it, yes, sir.
90 yards? You told me? 93.
93 is my furthest throw, but right now I'll probably be able to do it 65, 70 yards.
All right. Michael Bishop, the great one. Mark, Stan, back to you.
Thanks, Leon. Stan caught up with another former K-State quarterback, one to another. So that was kind of a neat conversation between you and Michael.
Yeah, you don't talk about the Heisman with me, but I called all of his games.
That counts.
And I called all of Colin Klein's game. Both those number 7s did pretty well. Colin Klein third in the Heisman voting. But you think about that year, 1998, Michael Bishop's senior year starting. K-State got all the way up to number 1 in the country, beat Nebraska for the first time at home.
Free kick out of bounds.
Since 1959.
5
first time
yards
they beat Nebraska at all since 68. 40-30 behind Michael Bishop. And they actually played Texas that year. and Ricky Williams got stuffed. He gained less than 50 yards. You know why he won the Heisman?
Why did
Because later he gained some yardage.
Okay.
Plays for Texas. But then around Thanksgiving, he ran over Texas A&M. I mean, he had a credible run. Brent Musburger calling it. I'm telling you, if that was K-State's defense out there, he would have got stuffed. And Beasley, Michael Bishop would have been the Heisman Trophy winner.
Yeah,
it's A&M's defense that messed this whole thing up for Michael Bishop. But if he makes the Hall of Fame, he joins Coach Bill Snyder in the College Football Hall of Fame and Mark Semino from Smith Center and K-State.
That's a very prestigious list. Carter Morrow to kick off for the West team, and the East is going to handle it this time. The first kick went out of bounds, so a free kick, and the East gets another opportunity, and the ball is run back to about, we'll call it the 38-yard line. The East will begin their drives. 8-3 is our score. West leads East here in this 47th annual Kansas Shrine Bowl. The West put together a drive of 87 yards. The East has their 3 points via the field goal here in the second quarter of action. Again, if you're watching, this is live action here in Topeka. Just the third football game since the XFL was shut down in March. The Nebraska Shrine Bowl was a week ago. It's a pretty cool honor to have.
And there was another high school all-star game, state against state. It was Indiana versus Iowa, something like that on Monday night. So this is the third one.
Ball moved forward to the 43, 44-yard line. What always amazes me about this ball game is Quinn Busing from Axtell back running the controls for the East squads. They have to put a game plan in less than a week. And the coaches every year tell us the same thing. Hey, they're all-stars. They're incredibly smart. They just know the game. That's why they're playing in this thing.
And they didn't dilute their strategy at all. They brought it, and they go, wow. If I was with my own high school team, there's no way they would have learned this. But these all-stars picked it all up.
Second down and 5. Ball forward to the 45-yard line. The carry by Connor Haviland out of Humboldt. He's headed to Pitt State, and he picks up enough yards to put the East squad within third down and about 4 on the play. The West drive was really impressive because they got the passing game going. And I think we're going to see Garrett Harmison a lot more here for the West squad. The East trying to counter here, trying to get their own rhythm going here. And this is a big play.
And they needed a first down because they need to give their defense a little bit of a rest after being on the field for almost 15 straight plays.
Third down and 3, looking for a block, trying to get in. He needs to get forward to the 48-yard line. He got to about the 47, looks like about a yard shy. So Busing was looking for a block. By the way, he's headed to Highland to play college football. We'll see if the East squad, West went for it twice on fourth down, didn't make it. East squad, see if they're going to go for it here. But it looks like the punting unit is in.
Remember, they got a strong wind at their back, so they can turn the field position, and if they can play some good defense, get the ball better field position, and not take the risk of giving the West the ball in their territory.
Campbell Haverkamp, the East punter, stands back at his 35-yard line. This would be a great place to fake it if that is in the playbook. West squad showing a little bit of rush, but trying to set up a return. That's a nice punt. To the 10-yard line, it's going to fall. Boy, like you said, great field position.
You don't even need to touch that. It'll stop by itself like a golf shot.
Man, what a punt. And the crowd appreciates it. What a play. Boy, that just goes to show you what a special teams play can do for a squad in making the decision to either go for it on fourth down or punt it away, and the East squad makes a good choice.
What a big play by Campbell Haverkamp.
Let's take a break.
At Emporia State University, you can be yourself. You can chase your dreams. And you can change your future. Start discovering Emporia State University today.
Sports are full of empowering moments. The game-winning field goal, an athlete overcoming an injury, At Cotton O'Neill Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, we live for those empowering moments. Our team is well equipped to care for all sports-related injuries. Our experts tailor-make treatment plans to fit you, because when it comes to winning, there's no one-size-fits-all approach. Discover the many ways Cotton O'Neill Orthopedics and Sports Medicine can empower your victories.
So, what is love? Love is being independent. Love is dancing. At Shriners Hospital for Children, love is a new smile.
At Shriners Hospitals for Children, love is caring for a child regardless of the family's ability to pay. Learn how you can send your love to the rescue at lovetotherescue.org.
With Stan Weber, I'm Mark Ewing in this final minutes of the second quarter, 3:19 to go before the first half ends. And the West leads the East by a score of 8-3. The West team forced an East punt. And look where they get to start, their own 3-yard line, the shadow of their own end zone, or at least their own goalposts. And this will be a tough place to be for the West to operate. No room for error here. They give us to the back. And the back's going to get a little bit of space up to the 8-yard line. Tackle was made there by, among others, Tabor Vetter from Wamego. Said his name a couple of times.
Dalton Miller on the run did a nice job of getting upfield. When your back's to the wall and you're getting the football in the end zone, you got to move quickly and get out there and get as much as you can on your first couple of steps. Don't worry about getting a touchdown. Just get the ball off the goal line. He does a nice job running out to the 9.
Second down and 5, a tight formation, a couple of receivers to the top portion, tied in the ball game. And give us to the back, and he is brought down, just ripped down. Man, he's lucky he held on to the football. That was Kali Saili. Kali Saili from Jefferson West, 5'10", 275, and he was back in the West backfield before they knew it.
What a good play, getting through the line of scrimmage, busting in there, and a nice play. He's a captain for this team today, and he just ran right around the offensive lineman, beat him to the football. Jacob Fredrickson could not get his hands on him, and a big play. East is able to call timeout because they want to save time and force the West to punt.
Back in the year 1974, it all began. The East squad beat the West by a 16-14 count. The very first Kansas Shrine Bowl. It was played at Memorial Stadium on the University of Kansas. In its early years, the game rotated between K-State, Kansas, and Wichita State. But in the last decade or so, it has been hosted by one of the 4 Division II schools in the state of Kansas. It's also been played in El Dorado and played in Dodge City. The interesting thing about this is the 47th edition rolls into Topeka with another lineup featuring the best of the best in Kansas. As originally it was supposed to be at Washburn University. Yager Stadium, great setup, would have been terrific, but they had to shut down the campus. COVID-19 came in, and all of a sudden everyone was thinking, at least I was thinking, what if the Shrine Bowl is in doubt? But they actually looked at some other places to play. But they said, hey, let's move about 2 miles to the north and look at this beautiful place to play football. That was a great decision. Topeka still gets to host the game. And, I have to say this also. This is USD 501. So you go from a college campus to really the high school 501 being in charge of this. And the 501 steps up and says, hey, we'll provide transportation. We'll get the restaurants to step up. And because they had to shut down, of course, the cafeteria at Washburn University, it presented a bunch of problems that they have solved in getting this game to this point in time.
The logistics are incredible. The help by everyone, the county allowing them to follow procedures and still play. B.J. Harris, who runs the game, did a fantastic job.
Ball in the end zone under duress, looking for receivers, got one, 10-yard line. It's going to be close to a first down. In fact, he probably got it. Key third down play. The catch was made, and Jeremiah Brown skipped out of a tackle and has the first down on the play.
Brown caught the football short of the first down. It was just amazing to have a completion with the pressure coming behind the quarterback. Got rid of it just in time before getting tackled at the goal line. But getting the completion is one thing. Getting the first down is worth so much more. After the catch, he's able to push upfield and fall forward for a first down.
First down and 10, 17-yard line. 3 receivers to the near side of your screen on the rollout. Looking for one. Has some time. Goes downfield. A wobbly pass is intercepted. Intercepted by Campbell Haverkamp. And Haverkamp did the 30 and inside the 30 down to the 26-yard line. And he was simply waiting for that one to come down. And an interception, his second of the ball game, made by Haverkamp.
And that ball was thrown up for grabs against the wind. We talked about why you might throw it low. The wind might push it down, but it's still safer than getting it up in the wind and having it float. And that's what happened to Jackson Cavanaugh as he rolled to the right and threw it up. It ended up floating, and Haverkamp makes his second interception of the game, gets a little bit of a return to the middle of the field, and the East has great field position here at the 27-yard line.
It'll be the third time in the ball game that the East will begin in West Territory. First down and 10, 27-yard line. Single back, single quarterback. Give us to the tailback. It gets it forward inside the 25 to the 24-yard line. And, simple football sometimes at this point is the way to get it done. And that was a simple play and a simple carry for Connor Hayes.
Yes, and they can speed up their offense, and they probably will with the clock running. The East has one timeout left, just over a minute and a half, so they can't just take all the time in the world. They need to speed things up, which isn't easy. These guys haven't practiced together very long.
Second down and 8, ball at the 25. Finding receiver, got one. 20-yard line, knocked down the 17-yard line, a little crossing route. And that play made by the receiver, C.J. Horton. Fort Scott, he's headed to K-State in the fall. And quickly the East gets to the line of scrimmage, first down and 10. Ball sent to the 17-yard line.
The big guy looks like a tight end, and he's likely to be a tight end at Kansas State.
Quinn Boosing, the quarterback, now empty house backfield by himself. Looking toward the corner of the end zone, looking for a receiver. Pass is incomplete. The receiver, who was Tabor Vetter, made a cut, and that pass went right over his head and sailed into the end zone.
Well, when you have the wind behind you, that's going to push the ball a little bit faster, stay up in the air a little bit longer. And Boosing had that throw overthrown, didn't go to an interception. Very fortunate about that, but he didn't realize it. He had big-time pressure on his back. Remember early in the game when Hunter Yeager was coming off the edge, blitzing? Yes. And causing havoc. That time he was almost there for the sack again.
West leads East 8-3. East trying to retake the lead here. Final minute of the first half. And under pressure. Pass arched the end zone, nearly intercepted, incomplete. And a flag is down. Is it defensive interference on Scotty Easter, who is from Andale, or did C.J. Horton push off?
Late. C.J. Horton gave a push right at the end, but was that the reason for the flag?
Discussion taking place on the field. Again, the line of scrimmage is the 17-yard line. As we take a look at the replay, you make the call. Boy, he was under pressure when he just arched that out, just a couple yards short.
He was underneath him, and he may have shoved him getting body position. If you just see the end of the play, you see that he made a play on the ball, but it's right before then where there may have been contact, because the positioning looked good with a taller player at 6'6". C.J. Horton had a big chance to catch the ball. The defender ended up being in the right place, but there was too much contact while the ball was in the air.
Defense, 4. Half the distance of the goal. Still second down.
So original line scrimmage 17. They'll move it half the distance to the goal.
It's not a spot foul. That's a big deal.
That's right.
In college football, it would be a spot foul up to 15 yards. Pros would be a spot foul no matter what. Here it's half the distance. So instead of getting the ball near the goal line, they're still going to get a good situation, but it's at the 9-yard line.
Plenty of time. Minute and 1 second left for the quarterback. Quinn Boosing out of Axtell to get his team into the end zone. Receiver goes to the right to the left side, and now he draws his slot back, and he gets the ball. Does Gabe Garber from Sabetha, gets it close to the 5-yard line. The thing about the running play is clock's going to keep on moving.
Well, they stopped the clock to move the change
move forward, yeah.
And now they quickly start it back in modern football. So the clock is running.
All right, inside 45 seconds to go right now.
First and goal, though.
Boosting at the 10-yard line, empty house backfield under pressure. Throws a pass. The receiver looked around at it, but the ball was headed his direction, was Storm Slupiniak. But he turned around. That ball was on the ground when he looked around. So the kid out of Marysville, 5'11", 195, headed to Kansas Wesleyan. They tried to make that happen, and the East team gets a chance to redraw that play.
Remember, East does have one timeout left, so they could run the football and call a timeout. They do not have to throw the ball every down.
All right, second down here. And goal, 5-yard line. Boosing, arching pass toward the end zone, looking for a receiver. It's caught! It's caught in the end zone, but incomplete. It rolled away from the receiver at the last moment, and C.J. Horton of Fort Scott had it, and then he did it. What a nice defensive play. Boy, the East fans on the near sideline thought that was a score and left their seats. Take a look again.
Boosing made a nice throw, made it a jump ball, got it to his big guy, and he had a chance to pull it in, but fighting for the defensive position, finally knocking it away, was the defender. Carter Morrow knocks the football away, so now it's third down.
Carter Murrow, we've seen him punt. He's a first-team Ark Valley Chisholm Trail League linebacker and punter, and at the moment made a huge defensive play. 3rd down and goal for the East squad, down 8-3. Slot back, goes to the right side, trying to load that right side of the field. Pass over the middle, and it is incomplete. It looked like Scotty Easter out of Andale got his fingertips on the ball, knocked it loose, out of bounds. The pass incomplete, and that'll bring up a 4th down for the East squad.
That's an example where a quarterback's looking to his right, thinking he knows what's happening, but he doesn't realize to the left there's an extra guy there who could have picked it off. He thought he had Gabe Garber in the back of the end zone.
Yeah, boy.
Boy, sometimes you got to look ahead of the receiver.
Yeah.
There's so much to look at in a very short period of time, but boy, it is awful when you're a quarterback and you say, I didn't see that green jersey pop up.
And if he
and
waits,
happy that he dropped it.
If he had a little bit of time, he was headed to a really empty space on the left side in the end zone. Instead, a field goal attempt coming here. It'll be a 22-yard attempt for Evan Rinaldo. Kick is up, and it is no good. Kick is no good. Looked like he missed it to the left side, kind of a knuckleball. Not sure the hold was very good. The snap was quick. Holting Haverkamp is the holder, and Evan Rinaldo, the field goal miss, and the score holds at 8-3. Boy, East comes up empty there. That's going to prove to be a big series in this ball game.
Yeah, missed opportunity. They had good field position many times in the first half and only end up with 3 points. And this time a missed field goal will move the ball out to the 20. They don't come away with the score. They're down only 8-3. They'll have to regroup and act like it didn't happen. Just say we'll be fine and go into the second half. But that was an opportunity to take the lead, it looked like. The hands of the receiver, C.J. Horton, looked like he might get a touchdown. But how about Carter Moreau, a powerlifting player going to Western Illinois, was able to be strong enough to knock the football away in the back of the end zone.
Just a few seconds left. This is Melvin, and Melvin's going to get about to the 24-yard line, and that should be the last play of the first half. And here's how this game has gone. The East came out and got a field goal on that 3rd possession of the football game, and although a 24-yarder, and the West put together an 83-yard drive that was a touchdown and a 2-point conversion added. And that is how the half ends. So mark on your scoreboard, West 8, East 3, and as the players leave the field, as you can see them now, they're getting a big applause from the fans here. Certainly are appreciative of the effort. This has been a heck of a football game so far as it gets a little bit cooler. That sun going down is very, very welcome here as you are watching the 47th annual Kansas Shrine Bowl for Hummer Sports Park in Topeka. We're headed toward halftime, and if you're familiar with the Kansas Shrine Bowl, then you certainly realize that typically the halftime is, one, we get to meet the cheerleaders, we get to see the band take the field. Well, all those things didn't necessarily happen. They thought there was too much risk to bring those kind of numbers in, and typically this game involves up to 400 or 500 kids by the time you throw the band, the cheerleaders, and it just wasn't able to happen.
Well, you talk about one aspect of it. The other is the health department said there's a limit to how many people can be in here. You and I count against the count. It's not like just the fans in the stands. Every player, every announcer, every media person counts, and there is a limit of how many people can be in the building. So if they added on the band, the cheerleaders, then there wouldn't be as many parents and those type of fans be able to watch the football game. A tough choice. Loved watching the band, the cheerleaders, all the things that are going on around the game. But that said, there's not a reason to look at what we don't have. What we do have tonight is good football, really great crowd, and an amazing evening. Live sports in America, and it's happening in Kansas with the Shrine Bowl, a high school all-star football game.
All right, we're going to pitch it to public address announcer is Jimmy Brew. We heard the virtual national anthem in the first half. Well, we got another treat in store. Jimmy Brew, take it away.
With the support of Kansas Masons and the Kansas Masonic Foundation, the show will go on. Please enjoy the sounds of the 2020 Kansas Masonic All-State Virtual Band.
How do you see the world?
At Shriners Hospitals for Children, we know that changing how you see things can turn them into everyday miracles.
Like riding my bike.
Breaking boards. Hugging my mom.
Every day for over 90 years, Shriners Hospitals for Children has been sending love to the rescue, regardless of a family's ability to pay.
If you know a child we can help, call or go online now.
Well, we've reached halftime here in the Hummer Sports Park, Kansas Shrine Bowl, the 47th time around. This is a year we'll probably remember and talk about for years to come because of all the obstacles they had to face and the fact that they had to alter their schedule, change what they normally do. When a game has tradition, you kind of get in a rhythm and a routine of your own. It's difficult to change. So, boy, give them all the credit in the world to the executive director, B.J. Harris, and his staff for making that happen. When one of the changes, obviously, Stan, was the virtual band. I thought that was just terrific. The kids couldn't be here to play, which they would have loved to have done. So instead, they played from their homes. Zoom, which became a new thing about, 3 months ago? And that was tremendous. That was just absolutely terrific.
A little tidbit about Zoom. A lot of people had no idea what Zoom was, but they actually have a major presence and employees in Kansas City's area.
Oh, is that right?
In Overland Park. Huh? There's an office there. So I actually
I didn't know that.
I knew the CFO and others from California, from San Jose, California is where their home is. So I knew what Zoom was, but man, now everyone knows what Zoom is. It's been so helpful. But putting a band together and having them play, that was awesome television. And they did a good job here. Even though you couldn't see the video screen like you saw on your television coverage, they heard it in the stands here. So they got to hear the band play here, and you got to see on the TV opportunity. Amazing to coordinate all that, and great job by those band players once again this year.
And we take a look at the stands. Some of the fans are headed toward concessions or other, but I want to point out, as we made our way to the press box, which isn't an easy climb on a day like today, but every other row you can't sit in. So they have a sign there as you walk up the steps, no one can sit here. That helped with their social distancing, but they had to think about everything.
There are arrows up and down on the steps.
Right.
So you go up or down. The arrows show you where you're going to go. The fans were very considerate of all of that. And when I came up after our pregame show, before I ran up to the booth, I stopped and I said, how much fun are you guys having watching a real football game here in just about 20 minutes?
Yeah,
and,
right.
And everyone, you couldn't see smiles on their face because they had their masks on. But you could see the emotion in their eyes. You can see, and they even said, yeah, this is great to watch. People play football is so much fun, and I think the audience is probably incredible right now looking for some live football. And we got a game that's 8-3. Anything can happen in the second half.
Let me, while they're on the field at the moment, gives me an opportunity to introduce some of the fine Shriners from the state of Kansas. Brian Wilson, Larry Dane from Topeka, Darrell Ryan from Salina. They're being introduced to the crowd. Fred Smith is out of Wichita, Rick Horn out of Pittsburgh. And so they're getting a chance now to receive applause from the fans for all their work. And they also had some other folks, the board of directors, Steve Amisager. Steve leads the, the 15-man corporate board of directors, and Steve on the field. So let's go back to the PA. He'll do a better description of what's on the field. Jimmy Brew. Jimmy, take it away.
Our corporate sponsors go beyond merely advertising during our event. They become our partners by helping us to help others. These companies and their employees are great humanitarians. We will now have presentations by some of our sponsors. The mock-up checks you see being presented by their company representative or a Shrine Bowl volunteer represent cash contributions, gifts on kind, and expense payments. With the first corporate sponsor, DFM Communications, with a check for $1,000. Farmers Insurance, Jared White, $1,000. Pitcraft Printing, with a check for $1,000. Farm Bureau Financial, $1,700. Arab Golfers, with a check for $2,238. And our next corporate sponsor, Sports in Kansas, from the helmet raffle. With a check for $3,500. Stormontville has generously donated $3,000. And the city of Topeka presented a check for $5,000. The Rooks County Shrine Club for $5,000. Champion Sports, $5,000. Mammoth Sports Construction, $12,000. And presenting the check for Mammoth Sports Construction, Rooks County Shrine Club, $5,000. And donating the check from Mammoth Sports Construction, Kansas State University legend Michael Bishop with a $12,000 check. Also donating, Sign Brothers and CDL Sign Company, a check for $12,000. The Kansas Masonic Foundation donating $15,000. A donation from the Kansas Shrine Bowl Board of Directors for $22,500. And lastly, a generous donation by the Midian Touchdowners for $23,000. Thank you for all of those that have supported and donated to the Kansas Shriners Hospitals. Not only for the game, it's for the kids.
And we thank for the check presentation. Thank all the sponsors who are involved in the Kansas Shrine Bowl. They make it happen, and they've made it happen so far. Our score at halftime, it's the West 8, the East 3. You're watching the 47th annual Kansas Shrine Bowl for Hummer Sports Park in Topeka. We're back with the third quarter right after this.
At Emporia State University, you can be yourself. You can chase your dreams. and you can change your future. Start discovering Emporia State University today.
Sports are full of empowering moments. The game-winning field goal, an athlete overcoming an injury. At Cotton O'Neill Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, we live for those empowering moments. Our team is well equipped to care for all sports-related injuries. Our experts tailor-make treatment plans to fit you, because when it comes to winning, there's no one-size-fits-all approach. Discover the many ways Cotton O'Neill Orthopedics and Sports Medicine can empower your victories.
So, what is love? Love is being independent. Love is dancing. At Shriners Hospital for Children, love is a new smile.
At Shriners Hospitals for Children, love is caring for a child regardless of the family's ability to pay. Learn how you can send your love to the rescue at lovetotherescue.org.
And about to start the game again, 8-3 is our score, and West leads East here in the capital city of Topeka, who is the host site, which was in danger about 2 months ago when it was revealed that Washburn University was going to shut down its campus and potentially create some hazards for the game, but instead it moved a couple of miles north, and this is the home of USD 501, home of Highland Park, Topeka West, and Topeka High School, and why not have a high school all-star Shrine Bowl game here. It's long been an event, a series of items on the agenda. They're designed to involve hundreds of Kansas students and dozens of volunteers in activities ranging from a high school football clinic and combine, a band camp, cheerleading, dance clinics, and much more. Between the game, the band, the cheerleaders, and the rest of the events, it is typical for up to 400 or so high school students to participate in the Shrine Bowl game. And so those folks, along with gosh, think about that senior class, which missed its graduation, certainly missed out on an opportunity. But I'm thrilled for these kids, Stan, that they're getting an opportunity here because a lot of them didn't get to play the end of their basketball season, didn't get to play their baseball season, but they've gotten a season. They've gotten a season to talk about here.
Yeah, they missed prom. They missed a lot. And in the locker room, the coaches reminded them that, hey, you get a chance to play when you missed out on so many things at the end of your senior year. Take advantage of it.
About to start the third quarter here, but before we do, I think Leon Liebel's standing by. Leon?
I'm here with Chet Coupland, who Chet was just down on the field handing out money, man. And the reason you went all over the state and got a bunch of helmets and got them autographed.
Yeah, last year we always have, of course, the Shrine Bowl Combine. The uncertainty this year, we didn't have that. So I thought, what way can I raise some money to donate to the Shriners Hospital for Children? Well, I have all these coaching contacts everywhere. I don't ask them for a whole lot usually. And sure enough, they donated some helmets. We raised some money for it. We're going to pick 10 winners across the state of Kansas tonight. And we were able to raise $3,500 in a little over 4.5 days.
Yeah, we got the
So we should have done it for a couple of weeks, otherwise it would have been more money.
We got the KU one right here, autographed by Les Miles. I know we have a K-State one somewhere floating around, and I think Stan Weber might be wearing that right now. I was going to try to get him to wear this one, but then you got the Pitt State.
Yeah, Brian Wright, the new head coach, signed this one. And, of course, the director of football ops that got me this, a connection, because Matt Bueller, his dad, in fact, is the East head coach tonight. So kind of connections there. And then Chris Brown of Fort Hays dropped his helmet off today. His son, Hayden Brown, is playing in the Shrine Bowl. So it's a small world whenever you kind of connect the dots out there.
Yeah, it's terrific. Everybody contributing to make this event possible during these extraordinary times. It is 8-3 here at halftime. The West leading the East. Not a high-scoring game, but not without it's some excitement.
Yeah, I mean, I've been impressed with Campbell Haberkamp. He was our 1A Player of the Year at Sports in Kansas this past year. And, we say there are players at all levels. There really are. That's a 1A kid, probably 60, 70 students in that high school. He's got 2 takeaways. He had 3 touchdowns in that state championship game this year to beat the Smith Center powerhouse for a 1A state title. So definitely some guys shining here. I favored the West on paper coming in. But this is an outstanding low-scoring football game.
One thing, too, we talked so much about the circumstances surrounding this game, how they pulled it off, the social distancing, people wearing masks. Once the game got going, I kind of forgot about all that. It's just about football right now.
Yeah, all about football, of course. The only time I'm really taking my mask off is whenever I'm talking here, or, of course, I need to get a drink or something like that. But everybody seems to be excited out here. The fans are great, of course, all spaced out. Not spaced out on the field so much, but hopefully we see a great result from this. and I think everybody's ready for some high school football.
Yeah, we're seeing some pretty good hitting out there, too. It's always competitive. It amazes me.
Yeah, it is for an all-star game, and then you get to thinking, hey, I'm that 1A guy. I'm that 8-man guy. I want to show that I can play against that 6A guy. I played against that guy, in the state championship. I want to show him up today. So there's still some rivals. Of course, we're in a social media age. There's a lot of probably, talking, chatter going on there, and kids are showing out here for their schools one last time.
And we had Michael Bishop earlier. We had him up here with an interview. He was presenting a check on behalf of Mammoth Construction. And I want to talk about a little bit, these sponsors very well, and they have really chipped in to make this possible.
Yeah, they are great partners for a lot of people in the state of Kansas, specifically the Kansas Shrine Bowl. Mammoth is my title sponsor at Sports in Kansas, putting in a lot of fields all over the state, and they brought on these ambassadors, people that people recognize across the state of Kansas, whether that's Michael Bishop, whether that's Jake Sharp and the combines and the stuff that he does to train kids. So it's awesome to see everything that they've done, as well as Sign Brothers and Stacy Butcher. They've been a great partner of ours, as well as donating all the uniforms that you see out there. They do all that, and really cool to see everybody come together for this great cause, for the money going to the children.
All right, it's terrific. Chet, thank you so much. We'll be talking a little bit later as this game continues into the second half. It is halftime here at Hummer Park in the capital city of Topeka. West leading the East 8-3 here at the Kansas Shrine Bowl. Back to Mark Ewing and Stan Weber.
Thank you, Leon and Chet. Interesting that you picked a selective helmet to hold up. I've got a Fort Hays State helmet in the press box. I haven't seen the K-State helmet, though, Stan. Did you take that one, or where did that end up at?
Well, they mentioned I might have it on, and I wish I did, but I have not seen it yet. But I'm hoping to see them out on the field in September playing football. I'm hoping this is a great beacon of hope for everybody else, that you can play football games. Now, what we're going to see in the second half, we're going to see if offense can play, because the defenses have dominated this first half of the Kansas Shrine Bowl 2020.
Second half begins. They turn on the lights here at Hummer Sports Park. The football, still a little bit of wind. In fact, the football just was knocked off the tee by the wind.
And the East will have the wind at their back this quarter.
Yeah, and so the West won the toss, deferred their choice to the second half. They'll have the football and a 5-point lead, 8-3. We thought we'd see some offensive fireworks from both teams, but so far defense has ruled today, and that this kickoff is going to be across in-line, touchback. And the West will take over, first down and 10 from their own 20-yard line. What did you see in the first half that we haven't talked about yet, Stan?
Well, I just think it was about the defense. It was either defense down after down or solid plays. For instance, the West is 1 of 3 on fourth downs. So the East has made those plays at those critical points. The East on offense is 0 of 6 on third down. So the West defense making plays. And then just overall, the West has 114 total yards, less than 4 yards per play. The East has only 45 yards, and with all the sacks that they've taken, they have averaged less than 2 yards per play tonight.
First down and 10 for the 20. The ball carrier is Joe Williams. Joe Williams bursts forward to the 28-yard line, and Williams knows that he had a little avenue to run as Cade Melvin handed off to the Wichita North product, and he makes 8 yards on first down.
He has a little movement and very good quickness. A fast, a very good kid, and again, undecided. They want to give him the football a little bit more, I think, to start the second half. With an 8-3 lead, I think the West can get back to running behind an offensive line that they believe in. And also, they've had a couple of guys, kind of H-back types, who've learned how to be types of fullbacks. Tice Hoover, Ty Garrett. There are a couple of guys that have learned how to block well.
And there's their spread. Melvin's going to keep at 30-yard line, going to get the first down to 31. 4 receiver spread, a little misdirection, and Melvin keeps the football at a Norton community. And he can run it a little bit, and he's shown some stealth there.
Look at number 1 right there. I want you to think about this story. This week they practiced as many times as 3 times a day. But there were some rainstorms that came through, so they got moved into a high school. They did some workouts and stuff. And then finally someone grabbed a basketball. Said, hey, let's have a little impromptu dunk contest. You know who won the dunk contest?
Was it Melvin?
6-foot Cade Melvin.
Is that right?
With a hammer throwdown, one-hand dunk.
Ball at the 32 is going to keep it, fake the pass. He's met at the line of scrimmage by a host of red shirts, including Ethan Shaver out of Riverton. Shaver, we've called his name repeatedly, and among the things that he's responsible, he's a member of the school select choir, so he's singing up some defense for the East squad.
I've never seen so many players who are participating in the Shrine Bowl who also have singing as an extracurricular activity. I've seen a lot of baseball. Hey, they're really good at basketball. Well, no lie, but singers, guitar players, it's pretty amazing. The broad range of a talent.
2nd down and 9. Here's Williams. Williams, 30-yard line. That time he did not get full. Boy, just laid the lumber down. Did Bryce Uphouse. He got some reaction from the crowd. Nemaha Central, a top 33 player, and he's showing why. Boy, watch him just perfectly get his helmet. Just perfect on.
Yeah, across the bow.
Yeah,
you know, that's what they say. When you make a tackle, you want to get your head on the opposite side of the runner from the direction that you're coming. You don't hit helmet to helmet. You hit shoulder, but you get your head across, and it becomes a big contact and drove him out of bounds. This is East's chance. They got the West 3rd and 10.
3rd down and 10. 3rd down and long for the West squad on the rollout. Melvin passes complete, 40-yard line, looks for some space, and probably got it. What a nice move on the end of that catch from Tamaris Adams. Check that. It was Trey DeGarmo out of Andover Central. Trey DeGarmo on the end of the catch.
That's great run after catch. There's 4 guys there, and he somehow dove forward and barely picked up a first down. So rather than facing a big decision, 4th down, go for it in your own territory against the wind, punt into a wind, they keep the drive alive. Nice pass by Cade Melvin, but an even better run after catch for a first down for the West.
Boy, you can see a little confidence growing on Cade Melvin as they start to get a little bit of confidence here. And this is Williams again. Williams crosses the 45 up to the 47-yard line as he continues to get some carries for the West squad.
Young man wants to be a fireman later in his life, and they really want to get him going in practice. He was hard to stop when they had their scrimmage opportunities. The West defense is going, boy, Joe Williams, the third, is hard to play against, and they really didn't get him going in the first half very well, but here in the second half, they've gained as much yardage here on this possession as they have almost all game. They've had one good drive tonight of 83 yards.
2nd and 6, ball at the 46. Here's Melvin. Thought about passing, now does. Has a receiver caught. Midfield, now the 45. Jeremiah Brown, Wichita West product. Inside the 44. West is inside East territory. And the yards after catch important. And the West squad has managed to get first downs after the catch is made.
Getting the ball in the hands of the City League players from Wichita, Kansas. We talked about Joe Williams from Wichita North, and there Brown from Wichita West making a catch, and the West has moved the ball over the midfield line. And remember, the big drive they had earlier for the touchdown was against the wind. So it's awesome if you could drive against the wind and burn up the quarter where you're facing the wind.
This time, 25-30 on the loose, 20, 15, 10, 5. This is Trevion Mitchell from Mays South, touchdown West squad, and the West extends its lead on the East to 14-3.
Dalton Miller busts up the middle and takes it to the house. Big time blocking up front. And those aren't human cutouts. Those are real people in the stands. Worthy to point out. Here you see the motion. He stepped to the right, but he bounced back to the left and ran right up the hash mark and bursted in. One of 3 running backs working tonight for the West. Dalton Miller from Great Bend takes it home.
Yeah, Dalton Miller comes off the bench to get the carry. All-purpose yards in high school, 4,680. That's all-purpose yards, 46 touchdowns. And there's a 2-point conversion try coming. Got a receiver, he's open. Catch is made, being knocked out of bounds. Knocked out of bounds by Hunter Moon. Very alert defensive play. And it'll stay at 14-3. We take a break here. West moves down the field 80 yards. They score their 2nd touchdown of the game. West leads East 14-3. We're back to Topeka in just a moment.
Sports are full of empowering moments. The game-winning field goal, an athlete overcoming an injury. At Cotton O'Neill Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, we live for those empowering moments. Our team is well equipped to care for all sports-related injuries. Our experts tailor make treatment plans to fit you, because when it comes to winning, there's no one-size-fits-all approach. Discover the many ways Cotton O'Neill Orthopedics and Sports Medicine can empower your victories.
I had no idea you did that.
We hear that a lot. You probably know that CDL is #1 in electrical services for your home and business. But we do so much more, like plumbing, heat and air, security cameras and alarms, generators, solar panels, even signs and banners. So now you know. CDL is one company with so many solutions for your home or business. Learn more at cdlsolution.com.
So, what is love? Love is being independent. Love is dancing. At Shriners Hospital for Children, love is a new smile.
At Shriners Hospitals for Children, love is caring for a child regardless of the family's ability to pay. Learn how you can send your love to the rescue at lovetotherescue.org.
Get back in the game with the Kansas Shrine Bowl Alumni Association. We hope the Kansas Shrine Bowl had an impact on your life. Now help us continue to impact the lives of kids at Shriners Hospitals for Children. Get reconnected with the Kansas Shrine Bowl at kansasshrinebowl.com/alumni. This year we'll have special offers and events just for our alumni. Former coaches, players, and staff members. Go to kansasshrinebowl.com/alumni and complete the form.
Great Bend's Dalton Miller goes 44 yards to pay dirt, and the West with another long drive early in the first half. They had a drive that went 83 yards. This one goes 80, and the West leads the East by a score of 14-3 here in the third quarter, 8:01 to go. And now it's the East turn to respond, to see what they can do. Short kick, 28. Now it gets out to the 35 as the kick is returned by Campbell Haverkamp out of Centralia. We said his name more than just a few times. So East, chance to counter here before they fall too far behind.
But first of all, if you go back to that West drive, 8 plays, 80 yards, a big burst up the middle for 44 yards, Dalton Miller getting a touchdown. But what was the big play? It was 3rd and 10 back in their own territory when Cade Melvin made the pass to Riley Petts, and he dove forward for that first down. They might have had the punt right there. Instead, they kept the drive alive and ended up with their second touchdown drive of the night.
East certainly now down double digits here, beckons to the missed field goal opportunity, a chance to score a touchdown. It's the quarterback is Chase Torkelson, who alertly just throws it out of bounds. No receivers downfield, broken play from the East squad, and there to help break it up was one of the key performers defensively. Looks like Trey DeGarmo. DeGarmo's had a pretty nice game. He's out of Andover Central, and he's headed to Cali. He's going to play baseball. He's had a nice football outing tonight.
Yeah, I want to talk about Trey DeGarmo because he was an award winner on something that I'm very involved with. I'm a board member of the Coach Bill Snyder Family Sunflower chapter of the National Football Foundation, and we give a Scholar Athlete of the Year to 11 players around the state. And Trey DeGarmo is one of the players that got it this year.
Is that right? How about that? Well, congratulations to him. Meanwhile, the tight end, Drake McCall, passed to him, couldn't hold on to us. 3rd down and 10 for the East squad.
This is an organization that's been in play a long, long time, and I've been a board member since my son Landry Weber was lucky enough to be awarded one of those Scholar Athlete Awards, and then I ended up getting on the committee, and Coach Bill Snyder agreed to put his family's name on there, so it's now the Coach Bill Snyder Family Sunflower chapter. Mark Semino is now joining our group as well.
Nice group.
With others, David Lawrence, the color analyst for Kansas football, is on there with us as well, and a bunch of people who are Lawrence have built this thing up. But it's really a neat honor. Coaches, you need to understand this. You need to nominate your players to play in the Shrine Bowl. You also need to nominate your players to be National Football Foundation Scholar Athletes, because it's only for seniors. It's football mostly, but it also includes academics to a big degree and then outside extracurricular activities. So it's really a great award.
Boy, it really sounds like a super award. East comes up about 3 yards shy of a first down, 4th down, so the East will punt the ball away, down 14-3 here in the third quarter, with their punter standing back to the 30 and under some pressure. Haverkamp on the punt, and a return is coming from the West. Carter Morrow from Goddard. He's up to the 30, gets a block, 35, and then still on his feet, dances forward, gets to the 40-yard line. Nice return by the West squad, and they're going to be in great shape. We're going to take a break here. West leads East by a score of 14-3. You're watching the 47th annual Kansas Shrine Bowl from Topeka.
Sign Brothers, a proud Shrine Bowl partner, is more than your average sign company. We go statewide, specializing in all types of messages for sports and schools. Wall graphics for locker rooms, gyms, or school entry areas. Sign Brothers will design and install graphics that get your students and players excited about this school year. They also make banners, field and gym signs, plus all types of custom COVID messages for directions and social distancing. So reach out today for custom designed signs and learn about our special pricing for your school or business.
At Emporia State University, you can be yourself. You can chase your dreams. And you can change your future. Start discovering Emporia State University today.
My daughter was diagnosed with scoliosis.
Connor's right leg was shorter than the left.
Her issues were so rare.
I wanted a doctor who's experienced at treating my child's exact condition.
That's why we went to Shriners Hospitals for Children.
These doctors develop the most advanced procedures.
They do so much research.
With some of the most innovative doctors in the world.
And they put all their best thinking, all their love into healing my child.
And they did it, regardless of our ability to pay.
My daughter is who she is today because of Shriners Hospitals for Children.
West leads the East 14-3 alongside Stan Weber. I'm Mark Ewing. The West team gets the football back after just putting together an 80-yard drive and an opportunity here to perhaps break the game loose. At the moment, the East is still within arm's reach. The West can change that. There's Harmison, the quarterback, into the ball game, gives to his back, gets about 4 yards. Harmison, the quarterback out of Riley County, he had a really, really good first half. In fact, he drove that 83-yard drive. He was really responsible for at least completing 3 or 4 passes in a row.
The West needed to run the ball. That was a strength of their team, but they needed to get some passing going to really break it open, and he did that on his first possession into the ball game when he drove his team 83 yards, and it was completing some passes right off the bat that got things going.
To his right is back Hayden Brown, 5'10", 180. The receiver on the end around gets the ball, but he is tackled and tripped up by Quinn Busing. Is that Busing playing? Let me check that number. That can't be right. Let me check it again. Colby Holting of Olpe got the play. Spent 4 years on the honor roll. Among the things that he's responsible, Eagle Creek Saddle Club member. That's unusual. From Olpe, Kansas. 3rd down and about 8, but that's a big play. East needs to get the football back, down 14-3, and now the West team with a long 3rd down conversion here, and the East with an opportunity. Back to drive, throws the ball, and nearly intercepted, incomplete. It was intended downfield and broken up by, guess who? Colby Holting again. 5'9", 162-pounder. He has been the player defensively on this series for the East squad.
Yeah, he wants to get a welding degree at Flint Hills Technical College. And that time rolling to the left, which is not an easy throw. Garrett Harmison has made that throw well tonight. Fired the ball like a dart, and this time it went over his receiver and into a dangerous area. He's fortunate it did not get picked off by the East, but into the strong wind, will the West be able to get a good punt off? That'll be the question. With Carter Morrow, he was all league in his conference from Goddard as a punter.
Stands back at his own 28-yard line. Line of scrimmage is the 42. West went for it, 4th down and short. A couple of times came up short. This punt, end over end. Fair catch called for and down to the 26-yard line. So the East comes back on the field. East has got to get something together here, has struggled trying to find some rhythm, and here's an opportunity for the East squad, the guys in the red shirts, to get something together. And you can see trying to get fired up there. Campbell Haverkamp among them, trying to cheer on his teammates to get something going here, down 14-3.
And it looks like Chase Torkelson will be the quarterback again from Pacer Linwood. Can he get something going for this offense when they have the wind at their back? Now 2 scores down, even though the East was the first to score tonight.
There's Torkelson, gives to his back. He does a nice job to shake loose from at least one tackler. And that is Caden Hofer. Is that Hofer from Goddard? Yes, it is. Oh, excuse me. Check that. Connor Hayes from Paola is the ball carrier.
And the West has been doing a nice job of making a green wall and not allowing the East to bust through and get any green behind there, get any grass or turf and some openings. They're really pressuring with their linebackers, getting up into the line of scrimmage.
Torkelson, standout football, basketball, baseball player, and boy, an opportunity there. Evan Rinaldo got the football and finally got some space. It does get the East a 1st down, but he nearly took it to the house.
See, there's a big wave of green players going toward the quarterback. They're blitzing a lot. They're vacating the middle. I just spoke about that, about how there's a second area there, right there in the middle of the field. See how many how much opening there is right there. That's where they need to get the football. They've tried to run, couldn't bust through that first wall. But with the linebackers firing, if you can get the ball behind there, you could get some big plays for the East.
Torkelson, that ball was that was a broken up play. He looked to his right to a running back. The running back was to the left side, and the West broke that up. In on the tackle for the West team, Keaton Robertson. He's out of Mays. He's headed to Butler Community College, and the West taking. But you can't make too many errors. And look, he's looking to his left and looking to his right, and the back went to the left.
Hey, he's so fast, and that's the theme of this group up front. They have some range, some length, but they're really a quick group of players. And so far, the defense, Tommy Beeson, the head coach, working on defense, Shelby Wehrman with him, they have been attacking with the linebackers, using those defensive linemen's speed and just creating havoc in the backfield.
Second down 14, ball at the 40-yard line. Here's Torkelson. He's got a receiver. Pass is knocked away. Defensive play made by Carter Morrow of Goddard. It was intended for Storm Slupniak.
It's one-on-one there because the linebackers are blitzing. Everybody's coming, so you've got to get the ball off quickly, but you've got to find an opening. And we saw a pass earlier in this possession that could have been very dangerous, a big type of play. Ronaldo got a catch, and that's what you're going to have to look for, a quick pass, but have a player run it at angle, run away from the defender, catch the ball, and then there's open area right now. But it's really you have to make it very quick to get the ball off with the defense blitzing as they are.
East needs someone to make a play. Receiver in motion, goes from the right side to the left side on a third down play in 14. Catch is made. Gets up to the line of scrimmage, is still on his feet, gets close to midfield. Does the receiver, who is Adam Albertini out of St. Paul, who did a nice job to keep on his feet, but it's going to be fourth down. The punting team is coming on. They stand there really close to midfield.
Yeah, no blitz this time. They fell into coverage, made him throw underneath, and then just a good job of not going down to his knees, staying up and getting the ball to the 50-yard line. But I think it's a disciplined play. With the wind at their back, you got to believe in the defense rather than go for 4th and 5 right here. Don't panic. You're down by 2 scores, but you can get back in this game. Punt the ball down and see if you can stop the West offense.
All right, 4th down and 5. Haverkamp stands back at his 35-yard line. He's going to punt it away. Trying to angle it. He did a nice job in the first half, and this one's going to bounce into the end zone. It'll be a touchback for the West squad. West will take over up 14-3. So the East couldn't get what they wanted, a drive that ends up in a score. And the East defense is back on the field. West has got the football and trying to get control of this football game. Still within arm's length as the East squad, but putting a lot of pressure on its defense.
Yeah, the defense has to take advantage of the opportunity here to say, let's go make some big plays. And their defensive coordinator, Jason Swift, talked about this. He was a defensive coordinator back when Steve Bueller was the head coach the last time. In 2012, Bueller was the head coach. Jason Swift was his defensive coordinator. Same thing here. When Swift talked to his defense, he said, guys, there are going to be a few plays that make a difference in this game. Let's make sure the defense is the one to make a big play.
Ball at the 20-yard line, 1st down and 10, wrapped up by the East squad, but that looked like Williams again. Williams gets it back to the line of scrimmage. Tackle made by Reed Spockman. He went to Blue Valley North. He's going to Columbia. 2-time sack leader, state of Kansas.
You might understand why he's a captain of this ball club. Leaders of leaders.
So 14-3 is our score. West leading East.
And by the way, our hero walked in, and it's not Michael Bishop.
Yeah, it's B.J. Harris.
B.J. Harris.
BJ.
What a great job. The head of the Shrine Bowl just doing a fantastic job from A to Z. So many things. Every time we have a Shrine Bowl, it's tough work for the Shriners to organize. But this year, off the charts.
2nd down, 10, 20-yard line. Quarterback takes it off the turf. Catch is made by Joe Williams again. And Williams gets some forward yardage. It'll be short of the 1st down, about 4 yards. 3rd down is going to come up. 3rd down and 3, ball at the 27-yard line. Interesting stand from a tactic standpoint that the West isn't running the football. They're content to see if they can get us. Maybe they don't feel like they have a safe lead yet. But the West definitely has some backs.
There's a big play here, though. And in the ball game is Jackson Kavanaugh. He's going to Washburn, but his dad, Brian Kavanaugh,
I remember
was
him.
a quarterback in 1996, was a starter for a team that went to the Cotton Bowl.
Yeah, he was a good one. And I can't believe his son is that age. Moving forward, he's going to get stopped by a host of red shirts, and among them, in on the stop, is Ethan Shaver again. Shaver has had one heck of a game. He was helped along Andrew Schmidtline out of Topeka Hayden, but he looked downfield, good coverage from the East squad defensive backs, cornerbacks.
And a big play by the East there. That's what they needed to force a punt into the wind, see if they can get some field position here.
And 4th down and 4, what the East really needs is a miscue or a big special teams play. That puts the pressure on punter Carter Morrow. Carter Morrow has done a great job so far. Played for West head coach Tommy Beeson at Goddard. And he's a first-team punter, and that's why. Look at that. Sails that off, and going to take a bit of an East bounce. Going to be midfield. Well, it's not a really short field, but the East gets it in pretty good shape. 51 yards away from the end zone, down 14-3 here, minute 31 to go, third quarter.
Remember, they were there just a little bit ago, but it's 4th and 5. You're much better off having this sequence and now being 1st and 10. And that's exactly what you want to do. You punt with the wind. They're punting into the wind. As long as your defense does the work, just be patient. We'll be back here again. And sure enough, they start the drive, East does, where they left off on the last possession.
First down and 10, 49-yard line. First half, East squad had 3 drives that began in West territory. Missed out on some opportunities to put some touchdowns on the board. Came away with 1 field goal miss. And as a result, trail 14-3 here, the closing minute and a half here of the third quarter.
Still probing up the middle, trying to see if they can get something. So they can just bust through and get 5 yards. Then there's open territory after that. But, boy, the West defense up the middle has done a great job of not allowing that to happen.
Saw Joel Montgomery out of Smith Center make the play here. Want to mention, because it's kind of a theme tonight, he was a state vocal qualifier. We have to make sure we get all the singers, all the guys that were the stars of their school play mentioned. We've almost done that tonight. They've all made big plays in the football game.
I'm telling you, it's amazing how well they sing and act in addition to play football.
Almost thought about pitching the football. Instead, East quarterback Quinn Busing gets about 5 yards. It looks like he's getting a little bit more comfortable. I think if there were a 5th quarter, he would be really, really comfortable, and he seems like he's getting a little bit more confidence.
Now, maybe there'll be enough time with the 4th quarter. They just need to get down, get a score, and they can put themselves right back in the game. But a guy coming over and getting involved, you saw big number 42, Trey DeGarmo, get in there and make a tackle. Those linebackers for the West have played well tonight.
Nolan Strite also in on the play. Ball at the 46-yard line, plenty of time. Going to lob this pass as a receiver. Catch is made. 15, 10-yard line. Puts a stiff arm out down to the 7-yard line, and that for the East is the biggest play of the game offensively as Gabe Garber out of Sabetha makes the play.
Good throw. You got to get the ball off quick with the West firing the linebackers, but guess what? This time they don't. They play it back in coverage, and they still throw it over the linebackers, find the ball into the middle. Gabe Garber making the catch, taking it down to the 7. And there are some big play opportunities for the East. If they can get past that linebacker area, they do it here and get the ball down to the 7-yard line. What a big play.
And West calling timeout here. Ball first down and 10 for the East squad at the 7-yard line. All of a sudden, this East squad, which were back on their heels for a bit, all of a sudden has new life. They got to take the opportunity here and push it in the end zone. First half, they had a couple of opportunities and couldn't punch it home. So that very much the theme of what the East coaching staff is talking about. That staff, by the way, includes Jason Swift of Shawnee Heights, Brian King of DeSoto, Mike Dumpert of Paola, Perry the Compton's Mike Paramore, Riverton's Johnny Mallett, and Larry Glatzik of Centralia. Talk about all-star players. That's an all-star coaching staff. There's a lot of stories that group could tell, and right now they're trying to get their East squad back in it.
Well, the fun that these coaches have, I mean, it's a coaching clinic. They not only love coaching the All-Stars, doing the things for the Shrine Bowl that they can. It's an honor to be thought of as a coach with the quality to be at the Shrine Bowl. But once they get there and there's a little free time for the coaches, guess what? They're drawing on everything.
They're drawing plays, aren't they?
On everything.
Yeah.
I mean, they may be on their computers nowadays instead of napkins. I mean, they're going, hey, what do you think about this? If I cross-block this and undo this. and they really like saying this, hey, I saw that play that worked. Now, what's your philosophy on that? And the coach has to take a deep breath, like, do I really want to give away my philosophy?
Yeah,
you know, coaches, they can't help it.
They want to. You know, the thing about
even Vince Lombardi said, there's a seal here and a seal here, and so they immediately start telling them, like, here's why I do it.
You know, the thing about high school football, just in my, high school football is kind of a regular thing that you cover throughout the decades. For me, certainly personally, but the two things that have really happened for high school football in the state of Kansas: turf. Number one, almost all the used to be really expensive. Well, now almost all the high schools have it. And two, 7-on-7 football. Everybody can pass the football now. It used to be that teams that won state championships could only rush the football, and they knew that when it was cold and it was 20 degrees out, and that first Saturday after Thanksgiving they had to dig in. Well, now we see spread off. Look at tonight. Spread offenses, single backs in motion, lots of trick plays. It's made high school football a lot of fun.
That's the base offense in football now for high schools.
Past the 10-yard line, trying to find some room, is number 11, Adam Albertini. He's tough to bring down. He's 5'9", 170. I'll guess he's probably less than 5'9", but that's what the program says. He is tough to get a helmet on.
Well, he knows what the Shrine Bowl is all about because he remembers sitting in the stands watching his brother Anthony play in the Shrine Bowl. So honored to be out here, and he gets the ball down to the 5 as we get ready to end the third quarter.
Third quarter comes to a conclusion. East is on the move. Can they punch into the end zone? West leads East 14-3. You're watching the 47th annual Kansas Shrine Bowl from Hummer Sports Park in Topeka.
I had no idea you did that.
That's what I said when I learned CDL does more than just electrical work. Like plumbing, heat and air, security cameras and alarms, generators, solar panels, even signs for my business. CDL really is one company that has a solution for about everything in my home and business. Learn more at cdlsolution.com.
Sports are full of empowering moments. The game-winning field goal, an athlete overcoming an injury. At Cotton O'Neill Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, we live for those empowering moments. Our team is well equipped to care for all sports-related injuries. Our experts tailor-make treatment plans to fit you. Because when it comes to winning, there's no one-size-fits-all approach. Discover the many ways Cotton O'Neill Orthopedics and Sports Medicine can empower your victories.
How do you see the world?
At Shriners Hospitals for Children, we know that changing how you see things can turn them into everyday miracles.
Like riding my bike.
Breaking boards.
Hugging my mom.
Every day for over 90 years, Shriners Hospitals for Children has been sending love to the rescue, regardless of a family's ability to pay.
If you know a child we can help, call or go online now.
Get back in the game with the Kansas Shrine Bowl Alumni Association. We hope the Kansas Shrine Bowl had an impact on your life. Now help us continue to impact the lives of kids at Shriners Hospitals for Children. Get reconnected with the Kansas Shrine Bowl at kansasshrinebowl.com/alumni. This year we'll have special offers and events just for our alumni. Former coaches, players, and staff members. Go to kansasshrinebowl.com/alumni and complete the form.
Along with Chet Kupple and Leon Liebel on the sideline, Stan Weber is in the booth. I'm Mark Ewing. Welcome to the fourth quarter. 14-3 is our score. East squad is on the goal line, knocking on the door, and on the rollout. Looking for a receiver. Will he keep it? Still looking for one. Now he's going to keep it, trying to get inside the 5-yard line to 3. Excellent coverage by the West squad. There was nothing there, and very wisely, the quarterback, Busing, instead of trying to force something to happen, held on to the football. There will be another down.
And good pursuit by the defense, getting there and dragging him down so he couldn't get close to the goal line. It ends up being a no gain. He had a lot of field to the left, but couldn't find an area to step up and run the football. And that brings up third down. They could kick a field goal if they missed third down to make it 14-6.
Yeah.
But more than likely, they're probably thinking touchdown because remember they missed a 22-yard field goal earlier.
Busing now, empty house backfield. His back goes to the slot on the right side. And now is in motion, trying to load up that left side, keeps it Busing. 5-yard line, 3-yard line, down to the 1. Didn't get in the end zone, but very close. The 1-yard line, that's going to bring up a fourth down play. I was wondering what sort of wrinkle the East squad would run there. They've been in this position before and have had difficulty finding the end zone.
He's a guy that they like to run the football, and they did it behind a trapping block and got down to the 1, and you could see something like that happen again. It's not the old quarterback sneak with the hands underneath the buns of the center like the old days. So you're going to snap the ball back. No one practices that anymore until they're an NFL player.
Busing, Havlin to the end zone, trying to get in at the 1-yard line. East signaling touchdown. The East is in. East has got a touchdown on a 1-yard run to the end zone, and that was not easy pickings for the East squad as the West squad nearly stuffed him at the goal line, but instead 6 more for the East squad, and all of a sudden we got a pretty nice ball game here.
First touchdown of the game. He jumps and barely gets in the end zone before he takes the hit at the goal line. Chance Omley was there to make the hit, but not before the plane was broken by Connor Havlin getting up into there and jumping in, taking the block of Drake McCall, number 82, the H-back, twice made blocks on those last 2 plays to get them into the end zone.
Going for 2 here, down 5 points, 2 points to put it within a field goal. East squad, nobody in the backfield. Boosing, looking out, had a receiver for a second, now throws the end zone, pass is incomplete. It was intended for Evan Rinaldo. Rinaldo had it for a moment. Instead, the game will hold at 14-9. You're watching the 47th Annual Kansas Shrine Bowl from Hummer Sports Park in Topeka. The East has scored. They're back within 5.
At Emporia State University, you can be yourself. You can chase your dreams. And you can change your future. Start discovering Emporia State University today.
Sports are full of empowering moments. The game-winning field goal, an athlete overcoming an injury. At Cotton O'Neill Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, we live for those empowering moments. Our team is well equipped to care for all sports-related injuries. Our experts tailor-make treatment plans to fit you. Because when it comes to winning, there's no one-size-fits-all approach. Discover the many ways Cotton O'Neill Orthopedics and Sports Medicine can empower your victories.
So, what is love? Love is being independent. Love is dancing. At Shriners Hospital for Children, love is a new smile.
At Shriners Hospitals for Children, love is caring for a child regardless of the family's ability to pay. Learn how you can send your love to the rescue at lovetotherescue.org.
East scores its first touchdown in the fourth quarter, putting together a 51-yard drive. They got the 6, did not get the 2, and as a result, West leads East now 14-9. West about to get the football back, but East, boy, they're puffing their chests out. They're back in this ball game, feeling really good about their situation.
Nice kick into the wind.
Taking it to the 10-yard line, be able to return 20-yard line up to 25, up to the 30, 35-yard line, short of the 35 to the 34. Comes the return man, Joe Williams III, out of Wichita North.
And Steve Bueller, the head coach of the East Shrine Bowl team, gets rewarded for playing traditional football, meaning he punted on 4th and 5, drove them back, stopped them in 3 plays, forced them to punt back into the wind, and then drove down for a touchdown, just like he wanted it. Very good tackle by the East squad on Williams on the return. So we'll see what West does. Remember, they went 3 and out on the last possession.
First down and 10, ball at the 34-yard line. West needs to come together with a drive. They put a couple of scoring drives together, one of 83 yards, one of 80. This one will be much shorter than that if they can find a way to the end zone. This one's just swarmed under is Cade Melvin. Melvin faked the handoff, kept the option himself, and is just swarmed under by Abe Siebenmorgan out of Mar Hill. He's headed to Benedictine. Nate Dreiling, by the way, is his older cousin. Nate Dreiling, the former Hutchinson Salthawk, Pitt State Gorilla, All-American at the Division II level, and it's a good person to be related to. Second down here, 15, Cade Melvin looking for a receiver. Gets a block now, shifts directions, and alertly just throws it out of bounds. There's some real presence to Cade Melvin. I really like the way he's run the offense. Instead of trying to force something, he knew there wasn't anything there.
Yeah, but great pressure by the defense. These are some of the best defensive plays we've seen. Gang tackling on the last play. See how they had the angles where he couldn't continue to roll out? When you're rolling out to the left, Mark, and you get flushed further to the left, you can still make a play. But if you get stopped and you have to turn back and go the other direction, when your momentum gets stopped as a quarterback, you can't get reloaded. You're not going to find a place to throw the ball very well unless you're Patrick Mahomes. Yes, I know he would find a way, close his eyes, flip it over his head, touchdown pass. But for a normal quarterback, you're dead at that point. So he did a good job keeping his presence and throwing it away, not taking the sack.
3rd down and 14, setting up a receiver screen. This
That's
is thrown behind
pass.
Williams.
It was a double pass.
Thrown by Brown. It's trying to be a double pass that's incomplete.
It was always meant to be a double pass.
Jeremiah Brown took 2 steps back, and the officials are getting an earful from the East coaches. They want some definition as to where that football's, where they're going to place this football. Did he pick it up?
Well, it should be official incompletion.
Yeah.
Because when he threw the ball the second time, it was a lateral the first time. They wanted to throw the ball backwards, which allowed Brown to be eligible to throw the football. It didn't look right. The ball squirted away on the pass, but it was still a live ball. He went over and picked it up as if he had caught it, threw the ball downfield, and turned it into, unbelievably, an incomplete pass.
Well, we've seen a lot, at least the second half, of Carter Morrow, who gets another opportunity here. He'll be standing as if they. All right, there you go. The ball, the line of scrimmage made 30, and Morrow's going to be standing back at about his 17-yard line.
First time he's been able to kick with the wind, though.
Yeah, we'll see what he can do with it. No pressure, trying to set up a return. It's going to take a west bounce inside the 30, out of bounds at the 27-yard line, and we're going to take a break here. West leads East 14-9, but when we come back, East has a chance to rally to take the lead. Can they do it? We're about to find out when we return to Topeka.
Sports are full of empowering moments. The game-winning field goal, an athlete overcoming an injury. At Cotton O'Neill Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, we live for those empowering moments. Our team is well equipped to care for all sports-related injuries. Our experts tailor-make treatment plans to fit you, because when it comes to winning, there's no one-size-fits-all approach. Discover the many ways Cotton O'Neill Orthopedics and Sports Medicine can empower your victories.
I had no idea you did that.
We hear that a lot. You probably know that CDL is #1 in electrical services for your home and business. But we do so much more, like plumbing, heat and air, security cameras and alarms, generators, solar panels, even signs and banners. So now you know, CDL is one company with so many solutions for your home or business. Learn more at cdlsolution.com.
My daughter was diagnosed with scoliosis.
Connor's right leg was shorter than the left.
Her issues were so rare.
I wanted a doctor who's experienced at treating my child's exact condition.
That's why we went to Shriners Hospitals for Children.
These doctors develop the most advanced procedures.
They do so much research.
With some of the most innovative doctors in the world.
And they put all their best thinking, all their love into healing my child.
And they did it, regardless of our ability to pay.
My daughter is who she is today because of Shriners Hospitals for Children.
Get back in the game with the Kansas Shrine Bowl Alumni Association. We hope the Kansas Shrine Bowl had an impact on your life. Now help us continue to impact the lives of kids at Shriners Hospitals for Children. Get reconnected with the Kansas Shrine Bowl at kansasshrinebowl.com/alumni. This year we'll have special offers and events just for our alumni. Former coaches, players, and staff members, go to kansasshrinebowl.com/alumni and complete the form.
Well, as much as they like raising money for the kids, it's more than a game, and it's all about the kids. I like a little drama. 14-9 ball game. West leads East. East has the football, 1st down and 10. The drive will begin at their own 27-yard line. Slot back goes in motion with a single back. And look at this. Talk about a wrinkle. A half pass coming. And it goes to the quarterback, 1st down. Describe that one, Stan. What page was that on? Page 11, Part C, I think.
They had plans to not only run offensive plays and everyone learn it, to run trick plays. Hand off and then sneak the quarterback out the left side and hope no one sees him. The problem was the defenders were so quickly on the passer that he had to show, hey, I'm looking for him, and he still delivered it. You know, they were trying to get the West to run over to the right side from an offensive point of view and have him over there by himself. It actually was a well-executed play to gain the yardage that they did.
Boosing really took a little bit of a lick on that. 6'1", about 190. Pass is caught. Receiver up to midfield, and East is in West territory. Catch made by Tabor Vetter of Wamego, and here comes the East squad.
Touchdown drive in the last possession, and now maybe a little momentum. Again, set up by the defense, twice forcing the West 3 and out, waiting for the offense to get something going. And now there's just a little more pep in the step of the East as they cross midfield.
First down and 10, ball at the West 47-yard line. East squad made a first down with ease, trying to keep it going. Here's Bessing. Bessing giving to the back, trying to find a block. West squad closes quickly. Among those in on the play, Nolan Stride. He's out of Clearwater, 6'2", 190. And he's an Ark Valley Chisholm Trail League Division IV first-team linebacker and steps up and makes the play.
Now, not much room. Good defense, team defense, really. Connor Has just could not get the corner turned. Defenders were there. Hunter Yeager started causing some havoc, and then Bo Foster was there to help out as well.
Second down and 12, ball at the midfield for the East squad, trying to capitalize on their momentum. This pass is caught. It's Vetter. Vetter to the 40, makes a move inside the 35. Now still on his feet, 30, 25, 20, angling toward the end zone. He's knocked out of bounds. Knocked out of bounds by Phoenix Smith. There's a flag on the end of that, and Tabor Vetter with the pass, the catch, and a couple of moves, and the East team is in business.
Well, we said that you might want to throw the ball on a slant pattern, get away from the defenders because the area is going to be open over the middle. That's where there's some green. You can run, and you see the run after catch. A missed tackle right there. Couldn't get his feet together. Scotty Easter was not able to make the tackle, and then running down the left sideline. Good run after catch. Tabor Vetter.
Personal foul. Laid out of bounds on the West squad. Number 27, half the distance to the goal. First down.
Ball's marked to the 7-yard line for the East squad, first and goal. And boy, talk about a quick answer here. They're right knocking on the door.
That play's worked a couple of times on the left side with the receiver running a slant away from the man-to-man defender. Remember Ronaldo getting one earlier when they're in the third quarter, and this time Vetter in the fourth quarter.
Boosing gives to the receiver, the slot back, moving around, no room to roam. Adam Albertini got the football, and he was tracked. And on it was Carter Morrow alongside the West squad teammate Tyler Dorsey out of Derby, who made the play there.
Big Tyler Dorsey, number 50, working on the inside, is a football player that has been a part of a 3-time state championship opportunity as Derby. What a big-time program Derby has put together. And he's a young man that has a chance. If someone would like to have him play for them, give him a call. It looks like he's still trying to decide which school he wants to go to.
Second and goal, Bessing, and now a flag and whistles blow. It looked like, if I were to guess, some movement. And we'll see it, what it is.
False start. Offense. Number 11. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
Boy, that hurts. That hurts, Stan.
It's been a theme that started early in the game, kind of got quieted, and then now picks up here. The wide receivers moving early, taking off before the snap. And every yard down here in the red zone is very important, Mark, because remember, they did not make the 2-point conversion. They're not within 3 to tie. They have to have a touchdown to go into the lead.
Bessing, the pride of Axtell, the first 8-man quarterback that we are aware of that has started a Shrine Bowl game. And Bessing back at 20-yard line and trying to find some room. He's going to be brought down and brought down hard. East squad is going backwards, and the West has had a lot to say about it. Nolan Strite out of Clearwater. He's going to play, or at least go to football at K-State. He makes the play.
Number 40 is the smartest guy around. What an unbelievable guy. Okay, he plays the piano. 4 straight years he won the talent show at the high school, right? Because he's a piano player. But oh, by the way, he had a 33 ACT.
Wow.
He's a super smart kid. He was telling everybody what they needed to do. The coaches were just amazed. Like, this guy knows so much about everything. They just kind of sometimes said, what do we need to know?
Third down and goal, ball at the 19-yard line. Screen is set up. Here's Vetter. Vetter still on his feet, knocked down, and a loss of 3 more yards. East squad now back at the 22, making the play. Travion Mitchell out of Mays South, who will play his college football at Fort Hays State, makes the play.
A young man who was right on there. We talk about those cornerbacks needing to be tacklers in modern football, and Travion Mitchell gets it done right there. Another guy who's old school. You know who his sports idol is? You'd think he's a broadcaster right now.
Right.
Deion Sanders. You and I remember when he's a football player.
Yeah,
or
sure.
How about the major leagues when he was in the World Series with the Atlanta Braves? But now he's just famous on the NFL Network for being a broadcaster. So I'm not sure if his sports idol for Travion Mitchell is because of his broadcasting or because of his old school play.
They're going for it, 4th down and goal. Angling toward the end zone, and he is there. Touchdown East! East has scored the touchdown and has taken the lead with 5.5 to go. Catch made by C.J. Horton. The East team tried that in the first half, and this time they make the touchdown, but hold on. C.J. Horton's not celebrating. Do you see a flag?
There's a flag down there.
There's a flag, okay.
And there was a flag earlier on a jump ball type of play we saw, and it went against the defense.
It's going to go on the East squad. Horton is holding his helmet.
This is a smart play. Line the big guy up on 4th down, as far back as they are. Why not put it up one-on-one and see what he can do?
Offense.
Oh,
Number 89.
Oh, boy.
15-yard penalty.
Oh,
4th down.
They're calling his right arm, and we saw that in the Super Bowl. If this would have been 2 years ago, it would have never been called offensive pass interference.
No,
that is a new modern phenomenon.
Yeah.
Remember in the Super Bowl when the 49ers tight end was downfield right before the half?
Yeah, I remember.
And they put a straight arm out against the Chiefs and got called for offensive pass interference. It's a call that's being looked at, and that trickles down. You watch it in the NFL, and suddenly it becomes closer to college football than high school. So the East gets a touchdown pass taken off by offensive pass interference.
Ball back to the 35-yard line. Bessie's going to try it again. He's got a receiver. He's open. Pass is caught, and Vetter dropped it. Vetter had it for a moment. He was on a straight shot to the end zone. Pass was just a little bit off target instead. 4th down pass is incomplete, and the West squad is going to grab it with 5:21 to go.
They snuck him down the hash, and he's wide open. But Husing thought he was so wide open, he took something off of it. He goes, I don't want to miss this guy. But when he threw the ball up into the wind, what would we talk about? Balls thrown up in the wind will just get stopped and float. And it floated enough that even if he would have caught it, the West recovered.
Wow.
They would have been there to make the tackle. But if the ball would have been laid out, if he would have just not thought about how open he was and just fired it, he probably would have hit him in stride, and they would have scored down the left hash. So what a wild sequence of plays without the East scoring.
Boy, so the West takes the football. 1st down and 10 at the 35, trying to protect a 5-point lead. 5:21 to go. And Harmison is the quarterback out of Riley County. Going to keep it on the ground here. The back is Hayden Brown out of Hayes. And that's been an interesting combination. Garrett Harmison, the quarterback, and Hayden Brown were really responsible for that early drive from the West team that resulted in a score here now with the really the task of keeping it on the ground and keeping the clock moving.
Yeah, this is where you get close to that 4-minute offense. And the code word for 4-minute offense is run the clock out. Keep making first downs. Run the football when the defense knows you're likely to run the football or throw only very safe passes like that.
Pass is made to the slot receiver. Catch made. 1st down is made. Up to the 40, up to the 44-yard line. Well executed play by the West team. Although he's knocked out of bounds. Riley Petz out of Cheney makes the catch. The deepest playoff run was what Petz did for his Cheney High School team, state semis back in 2019, making plays like this one.
That is like a running play, except for there's a danger. If you drop it, you stop the clock. Incomplete passes stop the clock. But the way you execute nowadays, you talked about 7-on-7, how it's improved players' ability to play there. Just throw the ball down the line and let the receiver run.
Gives to the back. This is Hayden Brown out of Hayes.
That reminds me of something you mentioned about turf on the field. There's just better quality footing. But a big thing that happens is that when these players practice in the summer, they can practice on the main field, the main stadium, and they can tell exactly if they were supposed to run a 12-yard out, the markings are on the field.
Right.
If you have a grass field, even if they let you practice on it, they don't have the lines out there.
Right.
It's off season.
Yeah,
so when you're trying to work out, you're going like, did I go 12 yards or 10, 13?
Yeah.
I'm telling you, having a turf field not only is great to stay away from muddy fields and stuff like that, it's great for the practice time.
Boy, no kidding. Here's Harmison, gives to the back once again, Hayden Brown, inside 4 minutes to go on a 2nd down and 9, a pickup of a couple of yards. It moves it in further into East territory. The 42 timeout's going to be called. East has a couple of timeouts. Might as well use one here. 3rd down play will be coming up. It'll be about 3rd down and 7. So, you know, these teams every year, they get to know one another, and this is really a great test of friendship. But when it comes down to it, they want to win the ball game. They want to say that they played in a Shrine Bowl game and they were the victors. And although they really express the goodwill that they do and the charity that they play for, there's something to be said for the competitiveness of the football game.
The good news is there are no losers, because if you do lose the game, you remember the friendships you've made forever with a group of people that you didn't think you were going to meet. Then you get the honor of having a chance to play in an all-star game like this, and then you learn the purpose of the Shriner kids and what you've helped for them to do, okay? And you get to represent your community on TV and your league. All those things are positive, so there are no losers. But there's definitely an extra bonus for the winners. There's a little extra connectivity when you walk out of the locker room and you say, let's stay in contact. Let's all have each other in a text group for the rest of our lives. It is even better when you win.
We got he's trying to reset it for 3 more seconds. But it's, okay, there we go, 3:43. He was trying to get the word out.
I just think he wanted to be on the radio with us.
I think so.
Or television.
I think whatever he wanted to do, he got it in. Hey, even though you're watching at home, you can still help the kids at Shriners Hospitals for Children. Go to www.kansasshrinebowl.com/donate and help us make 2020 a great year.
Please
Meanwhile, Visit Topeka is proud to be the host partner of the Kansas Shrine Bowl. See all great things to see and do in the capital city. Visit topeka.com. Here's the handoff. Trying to get to the 40-yard line. He's going to be stopped. Stopped there by Thomas Cook of Blue Valley West. He just made a huge play for the East squad as a 4th down is coming. It was on the ground, so the clock is moving.
Thomas Cook going to Pitt State, and it's important to stop him for no gain because then it really takes away the temptation for the West team to go for 4th down. You don't want to have to play against 4th down and then still get a 1st down. They've got to be thinking punt right now, which will give the East an opportunity with the football.
Well, and you got a punter like Morrow. He's really proven himself so far. He could really put the East deep if he can get one off.
Yeah, he has the capability. The first punt with the wind earlier did not really take into the wind, didn't hit it the way he wanted.
Here's Morrow. High snap. He loses the football, picks it up and punts it away. And still gets it down to the 20-yard line. What an alert play by Morrow. What a bounce.
It came back to him.
That could have been disaster.
Yep, it's not so bad right now. It really doesn't matter. But, boy, the drama of it going over his head, really not a lot of East rush there. And then when the ball went away from him, instead of going further back, it just came right back to him. He turned and punted the football. But I want to go back to what you said about donate. We have fans in the stands, and we got a good crowd, but it's still a limited crowd. We don't have the revenue from ticket sales that we would normally have just because there's a limitation of how many people can come. So getting donations, going to shrinebowl.com and those places, just what you mentioned, it is really important. If you love seeing this football game and you want to help the cause, they've done an amazing job of actually playing football again for the 47th straight year. Please give them a call.
East needs 80 yards. 1st down and 10, 3 minutes to do. Here's Turkelson, pass is caught. Gets to the 27-yard line. We'll see the East squad get hurriedly to the line of scrimmage. Catch was made by Rinaldo. And Rinaldo gets about a 7-yard gain, 2nd down and 3.
Get rid of the ball, throw that quick slant. That's the pass that's been open, right?
Yep.
That's the area you can get the ball into against the West.
I keep thinking of the play that almost broke loose last time. Might run that same little
the one
wrinkle.
Down the seam.
But a different quarterback, and it's Torkelson. Here's the back, 30-yard line. It's going to be a 1st down. They kept it on the ground, got a 1st down. Clock inside, 2.5 minutes to go. West leads East 14-9. East has the football, needs a score to take the lead. Drama is on. This is the way you want the Shrine Bowl to progress, and we could see a thrilling finish here. Ball at the 31, 1st down and 10, inside 2.5 to go.
Mike Paramore, 20 years at Perry LeCompton, a 3A school, is the offensive coordinator here.
Torkelson down to the receiver. Oh, incomplete. C.J. Horton again. Horton had it in his hands out of Fort Scott. Just could not grab and put it in. Remember, he got the penalty earlier. And, boy, he has been a frequent target. And that was there.
Previously, there were jump balls. This time, it's just flying down the field and delivering the ball on the outside shoulder right where you want it to, over the defender, Travion Mitchell. Mitchell did nothing wrong on the play. That ball was just thrown perfectly. But we did see the East run the ball. They can still run it just a little bit because thinking that the pass rush is going for the quarterback, if they could just slip through, they have a chance to gain a lot of yardage because I expect the West to blitz.
2nd down and 10. Here's Torkelson with a little bit of time, getting good protection, and now he's going to be brought down and sacked. Sacked by the West squads. Nolan Strike out of Clearwater makes a huge play.
Well, there's the blitz that we thought would come, and Nolan Strike, not only smart, but he's able to stay after it and be physical. He was first blocked by Garrett Harding. Harding did a nice job of picking up the blitz, but because the quarterback hadn't released the football left, Nolan Strike continued on, and other West players got there. They brought the heat. They are trying to find a way to get the ball off and in the middle area. And that time there was a receiver running right down the middle. Connor Havland was unguarded about 5 yards downfield, but it's so hard to see right over the middle when you're a quarterback and see a running back. He's not the tallest guy. You got all these rushers in your face. If you hold the ball against this West team, they are going to come after you and make a sack.
Farm Bureau Financial Services has been a proud supporter of the Kansas Shrine Bowl for more than 40 years. Protect what you value most. Contact a local agent today. I think Leon Liebel's standing by. Leon?
Copeland and Chet, what an ending we may have here. Impressive defensive stanza by the West team.
Yeah, really impressive, and you've seen some big plays in the game trying to get it out to the receivers and coming up with really a goal line stand there in this game, and just a couple minutes left in this game, and of course these guys want to win, and I'm glad we're getting to see a heck of a ball game. And how tough is it, Leon, to put together a team of guys within 7 days from all parts of Kansas? Some guys are out of position. We see DNs, some playing linebackers, some linebackers playing DN, some quarterbacks playing receiver, running back, you name it. It's really awesome to see how this all comes together when a lot of these guys have never played together before.
And this has been a pretty exciting game, especially the way it's coming down there. East coming back, and then West again coming up big on defense a couple times. And I think we're about ready to get back to action. Mark?
Leon, thanks. 3rd down and 18. Big play for the East squad. Is Torkelson back to pass, looking for a little bit of time. Has a receiver, catch is made at the 35-yard line. It will be short of the first down, but did pick up about 10 as the clock continues to move. Red team, the East team, used their second timeout. Stan, I think they have one left, but the clock's moving.
They did the best they could with that 3rd and long. You have to throw the ball quickly, get that inside cutting route, and Canalo makes the catch, so now I got 4th and 6. Not a great situation, but much better than that 3rd and long.
Game is on the line right now. 4th down and 6 for the East squad. Torkelson, empty house backfield, has a couple of receivers in a slot position. Just needs some time. Torkelson is going to be swept and brought down. The sack is made by Keaton Robertson out of Mays, and that should lock up the win for the West squad as the West comes through with a sack in the critical play of the 4th quarter.
Arm over against the right tackle. Dane Spoonhunter trying to block him and just unable to keep Keaton Robertson from getting into the backfield. And just holding the ball 1 second too long is going to end the opportunity. And the one thing we've seen tonight is the pass rush has been so good, the tackling so sound. We haven't seen any quarterback scrambles.
No, we have
not. You haven't
not
seen a quarterback like break away, slide through, and make them pay. All night long, when the quarterback got heat, they went down. So both defenses did a nice job of finishing their sacks.
Minute 22 to go in the ball game. West has it. And this is Joe Williams who carries it forward, still on his feet, close to the 21-yard line. Pick up about 8, almost 9 yards. As the West trying to salt this one away as the clock is on the move. East should have a timeout remaining. But when they want to use it, I'm sure they want to use it on a negative play if they can.
From an offensive standpoint, trying to run out the clock, there's nothing better than a 9-yard run.
Looks like their timeout's going to be used right here.
A 9-yard run's better than a 10-yard run because you're almost sure to get 1 yard in the next 2 downs, and then you can blow more time off. So West in a very good situation right now.
Gives us an opportunity to thank our sponsors further. The folks at Ramada Inn downtown Topeka Hotel and Convention Center are proud to be sponsors of the 2020 Kansas Shrine Bowl. Next time you're in Topeka, be sure to stay at the Ramada. Also, Pitcraft Printing has been the official printer of the Kansas Shrine Bowl for more than 40 years. Pitcraft Printing is more than a printer. They're a partner and a big part of the success of the 47th Kansas Shrine Bowl. All right, got a minute 9. And we also got Leon Liebel. Leon.
Well, Mark, again with Chet Copeland, we're winding it down here, the final seconds, final minute of this football game. And, I think we talked a lot at the beginning about how the Kansas Shrine Bowl and B.J. Harris, his staff, did a great job of pulling off this event. Your impressions, Chet?
Awesome. I mean, BJ's a football guy. I've known BJ for a long time. And, of course, to put all this together during what's been going on, I mean, I own a sports media company, so I know how this has been going on and how it's affected my business and some of the decisions that you have to make. Fortunately, they made the right decision, I feel like, here today to have the game, to raise the money for the hospitals. And great event here, and we got to see these guys one last time in their high school. So glad everything so far is went smoothly, and just a great atmosphere tonight here at Hummer Sports Park.
It has been. We still have some football left to be played. Mark, back to you.
All right, they've set it at a minute 9. I'm sure you heard the officials. The speaker has been interesting for him tonight, trying to get that going. But it's a minute 9 left, 14-9. West leads East. It's 2nd down and 1 for the West squad as they're trying to salt this away. East has used their final timeout in this football game. The West is putting themselves in a position where they're about to win 3 of the last 4 Shrine Bowl games. East had a little bit of a run there for a couple of years.
Last time the East won was in 2018. They also won in 15 and 16, but this is going to be the West's 11th win out of the last 15 games, including 7 straight wins from 2006 to 2012.
All right, so the quarterback Melvin walks to the sideline, gets another play in, and first down and 10, ball at the 18-yard line. The West squad, give them a lot of credit. They had a lot of changes that did the East squad, and this was a fun game to watch. They had a lot of well-executed plays, a lot of wrinkles. Fans loved it. They came into the game tonight, and for the first time, many of them had a temperature gauge aimed at their forehead to see what their temperature was. And what it said was, hey, let's play football. I don't care if it's 104 with a heat index, as the time starts to tick away. So the hugs all the way around. The two teams and the kids on the teams shared the Ramada Hotel downtown in Topeka, and also shared the same city with camp. So maybe this group a little closer than previous teams because of the opportunity to cross paths. And that ended up to be a really wise thing for both of them. So hugs all the way around. Final seconds tick away. And the West has defeated the East 14-9, our final score in the 47th annual Kansas Shrine Bowl. The East came back to rally, but the West scores a couple of touchdowns on long touchdown drives. When we come back to Topeka, we'll wrap it up. You're watching the 47th annual Kansas Shrine Bowl from Hummer Sports Park in Topeka. The West has won again.
Sign Brothers, a proud Shrine Bowl partner, is more than your average sign company. We go statewide, specializing in all types of messages for sports and schools. Wall graphics for locker rooms, gyms, or school entry areas. Sign Brothers will design and install graphics that get your students and players excited about this school year. They also make banners, field and gym signs, plus all types of custom COVID messages for directions and social distancing. So reach out today for custom designed signs and learn about our special pricing for your school or business.
At Emporia State University, you can be yourself. You can chase your dreams. And you can change your future. Start discovering Emporia State University today.
How do you see the world? At Shriners Hospitals for Children, we know that changing how you see things can turn them into everyday miracles.
Like riding my bike.
Breaking boards. Hugging my mom.
Every day for over 90 years, Shriners Hospitals for Children has been sending love to the rescue, regardless of a family's ability to pay.
If you know a child we can help, call or go online now.
Final score, West beats East by a score of 14-9. The fans who bravely came out are making their way out, and they've handed out some MVPs. Campbell Haverkamp is the obvious choice for the East squad. The West is celebrating the moment. I did not see who had the West trophy, the MVP trophies in there, but that's a pretty good award to win. And they're putting him up on his shoulders, and that's a pretty good deal to win as the West gets a trophy and the MVP award. And that works out pretty well there. I'm still trying to figure out who they gave the award to.
I couldn't tell if it was Dalton Miller for his 44-yard touchdown run or.
Yeah, Dalton Miller was the looks like the MVP.
Yeah, he busted through for that second touchdown from Great Bend.
But there they go, the chant West Side. West 14-9 is your final. Reflections of this ball game, certainly a defensive battle, but this game, regardless of the score, will be always known for this was the game in 2020 when COVID-19 took over the world, and they still managed somehow to play the Kansas Shrine Bowl.
When hundreds and hundreds of people are studying the issue, can we play football? And it is the subject in sports. Can the NFL play? Can college football play? Many conferences have said we're moving to the spring or not even playing, some of the smaller ones. The Big Ten and the Pac-12 have said we're only going to play conference games only. All these questions, and yet the Kansas Shrine Bowl with a very small staff and counting on 72 different kids to come from all over the state to make a decision to be a part of a game that they aren't a part of a team. They come here, their parents sign off, and they get a game executed. I just hope everyone has a chance to take this into context, how many people want to watch football, how the fans came out, what the reward is for young men to play football, and you got to value the risks of COVID-19, which are real, versus the benefits of playing football. And here, the Kansas Shrine Bowl behind B.J. Harris and all the people that worked hard in the city of Topeka, the county health department, everybody, to get something done positive. These guys are problem solvers when they're helping kids get their body back together, and they're problem solvers at how to keep this game going. 47th year, the most unbelievable year of all. As you see the highlights and East play coming down, and the one chance they had to get into the ball game right here on this possession led to a later chance that ended up not happening because of an offensive pass interference.
Connor Haviland there for the touchdown. And then the final had a couple of opportunities. This was one of them. Tabor Vetter on the catch, gets brought down by a couple of West defenders, but kept on his feet. Looked like for a minute here he might take it all the way to the end zone, and then the penalty was added on to the end here. And then this little screenplay, this is for the West squad, as Joe Williams III out of Wichita North took it down to the 1 yard line. But this game was action-packed. As much as you love the offense, the defense stood up, and occasionally there was just enough wrinkle to make it interesting. 14-9 our final. West beats East. Well, it's another Shrine Bowl is in the book, and they really achieved a couple of things. Number one, you want to produce a first-class statewide family event that brings honor and recognition to game participants, their schools, and their communities. And while you're at it, while you're raising money, why not showcase the best of Kansas? And I always enjoy the opportunity to tell the stories, not only of the good football players, but what they do. A lot of straight-A students, a lot of great singers, was kind of the state vocalists. So that's what I'll take away from it. But I always remember that this was the year that COVID-19 happened, and the Shrine Bowl really gave us an opportunity to put that aside for a minute.
Your 20th anniversary of doing this, Mark. It'll be one that we won't ever forget.
We will never forget it indeed. As we close the telecast, we wish to pass along our thanks to the Shriners of Kansas. B.J. Harris is the executive director, and his small but energetic staff, which includes Secretary Jana Becker. The citizens of Topeka and Shawnee County have stepped up to answer the call by welcoming the game with open arms. Production has been provided courtesy of Mike Nelson and his crew. We thank them for their final work. Once again, the final score, West beats East by a score of 14-9. For Leon Liebel, Chet Coupland, and Stan Weber, this is Mark Ewing saying thanks for watching the 2020 Kansas Shrine Bowl, and so long from Topeka.
So, what is love? Love is being independent. Love is dancing. At Shriners Hospital for Children, love is a new smile.
At Shriners Hospitals for Children, love is caring for a child regardless of the family's ability to pay. Learn how you can send your love to the rescue at lovetotherescue.org.